You know,
No.
Dave. Yeah, I know you're usually the one to name drop.
Wait, what do you mean I'm name dropping? What are you talking about?
But I have to say, man, you guys, you would never believe who retweeted me this week.
Was
But
it
Colin freaking Salmon retweeted my Blood and Truth
Salmon.
stream, and I was like, oh shit. And yeah, I just wanted to be like, dude, I loved when you got cut up in Resident Evil by the lasers.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I didn't know who you were talking about until you said that, and I still don't. But I know he's probably a big star if he was the guy who got cut up by lasers.
He's a mega superstar.
Say,
I
that's
love
like
that you're starting this episode with gloating. It's my favorite thing.
He was also
the opposite of name dropping, because that's not name dropping. I don't even know what
that
is.
Colin.
You show some respect.
Can we cue the cat?
Cue the cat.
Thank God.
Oh, that's the guy from Blood and Truth, isn't it?
Yes,
Okay,
and he was also in Tomorrow Never Dies.
Oh, the
and like
interrogator
100
guy, yeah.
other movies. But I want to say what's up to Johnny Wright about the stray cat. Simply breathtaking. That game cat in the chat. Anthony Barquero. Hello. JK Game Cat. What's up, dude? Anthony Charlie Fisk. Hello. He said, let's go, baby. It's time. Just finished watching Top 25. Hope you liked it, man. Share us your opinions on the Top 25 list.
Oh, yeah.
You had to ask.
Scarification says poop buckets. Genetic blasphemy says poop buckets.
All right.
There's a lot of poop buckets in the chat today.
That's a new thing I'm not aware
Fat
of.
Boy Vernon, Twitcher the single player game cat, Mega Dollar Dog, Hibsy the game cat, our usual news scooper. What's up, dude? Julie that kid. What's up, man? Dave Station's in the chat. I know that guy. Everybody should Dave some love. That space shooter game, the game cat. Hello. Homer's Game Cat Arcade. What is going? Red Rover, the effing Game Cat.
Joe
Mick
Rover
Cole,
right over.
Woody the Bluebird, Donatello the Scientist, Game Cat. Toss me a ninja slice. Guy Son Fist Bump to you. Week Rogers the Game Cat. Dennis Menguso, Gabriel 004, the License to Meow Game Cat.
Nice.
Meow, 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 meow. Bob Zarkoff, the Underground Base Station Game Cat. Creeper Betty, PSVR. Who else we got? Carlos Castro, hello. PSVR Underground, I know that person. Hulkbuster says, fuck this, I'm going to go play Demon Soul.
Yeah, go play Demon Soul.
Robin B, the English Game Cat. Bel Romeo, the Game Cat Hack. It's lit in here. Salvador Saavedra. William Drew, what is up, y'all?
Hey, what's going on, folks? I think we're on screen, aren't we?
Yeah, otherwise I wouldn't be. Otherwise I'd just be half asleep over here in the corner. The second I start going, that's when you know that this is PSVR GamesCast Live. That film live every Thursday night at 6 p.m. Eastern. We bring it to you live because that's what live means. We just kind of goof off. And the fact is, we already had a false start, but we wouldn't have a normal start if it was without Parole, right? Everything always falls apart whenever possible. My name's Brian Powell from that channel. PSVR Without Parole right here. And the guys to my right, the boys, Dave from Dave Station. Vroom, 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 VR.
Ooh, that's a pretty good rev.
Thanks.
So, guys, in honor of hoodie season here in Florida, it's finally hoodie season. I'm going full Unabomber.
Like 70
What do you guys think?
right?
A good look? Should I go out in public like this? I think it's a great look. Just don't take any mail from me. That's all I'll say.
And that guy on the far right hand side of the screen is AJ from the Underground. PSVR Underground.
Oh, Mega Dollar Dog wants me to do my Bane voice.
You know,
I was born in the Bane voice.
just because
molded by
Mega
it.
Dollar Dog asks you to do something.
Mega Dollar Dog.
I gotta, I don't know. Bane's awesome, man. Bane was the best part of that movie.
I don't think we can keep the show going after that statement.
No, yeah.
All
also, I want to know
trust
what
us has
Mikey's
been
talking
lost.
about. Mikey is I assume, pretty fashionable. He's a pretty fashionable guy. He said, Dave, the glasses, though, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I like those glasses, Mikey.
Knowing Mikey.
He's probably like, no, Dave.
No. Listen, we have so much to talk about today. We got a lot of news to talk about. We got some PlayStation 5 stuff to talk about. We got all sorts of stuff to talk about. A little housekeeping to take care of first. Make sure you click the link in the description to join our Discord. That's where this conversation happens 24/7. Are you using that as a weight?
Pumping iron, baby.
It's
Pumping
it's
iron.
empty, guys. You know it's empty.
Yeah, absolutely. But of course, I think we should begin the show the way we begin every show with a little game of should we or shouldn't we. When we put 60 seconds up on the clock up on the counter, the way that Jeremy likes it, boom, and it's our time down here to tell you out there, the loyal game catch, whether you should or should not be watching and or playing and or doing the things that we've been watching and or playing and or doing. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Don't all
Excellent.
volunteer at once.
I'll allow it. Well, I always say, recently I'm like, I'll go first. But this time I wanted to let somebody else do it. So, AJ, take your shot.
When you don't say anything, I'm like, Well, there's nobody else in the room, so I'll go first.
On your mark. Get Des. Go.
All right, man. I have been testing so many PSVR games on the PS5. It's been a constant transfer over to the PS5 and stuff because, there's limited storage. But I treated myself to a game that came with the PS5 called Astro's Playroom. Now, he might sound familiar to some of you. I wanted to check out the DualSense, get a feel for it. And check it out, see what all the rave is. And it's the DualSense is cool. My favorite part, again, is the adaptive triggers. But Astro's Playroom has so many. If you're a longtime PlayStation fan, like, you have to play this game. There are a million references. And it also had some great PSVR references. So there's stuff for everybody. Me, I go back since PlayStation 1. Astro's Playroom, absolute should we. Got the platinum.
Good one.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I was playing more Astro's Playroom today. Trying to fall in love with the DualSense controller.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
There's some good things about it for sure. I think we went through the whole thing last time, but we'll probably touch on it more tonight. I think so.
Yeah.
I haven't really touched much Astro yet because I bought games, and I feel like playing the free ones first would be weird when I paid money for other ones. Like Bugsnax I was going to play the hell out of, but if I spent $70 on Demon Souls, I feel like that takes precedence a little bit.
I mean, probably. Are you going to tell us about Demon Souls?
Sure. I'll do a should we for multiple games if you'd like.
On your mark.
30 seconds each.
Get Des. Go.
All right, so this is just PS5 flat screen stuff. I got Miles Morales, which is gorgeous and runs really well even in the 30 frames a second mode. Feels really fluid and looks gorgeous with the ray tracing and all that. Same kind of gameplay that you enjoyed in the original Spider-Man game, which was so much fun. But the traversal, like on a PS5, everything is just so snappy and crisp and really fast moving. So kind of the perfect game to show off the potential. And then Demon Souls is Demon Souls. You guys know what Demon Souls is. It's still the same game, but it's so pretty. It's got the nicest coat of paint. This is Blue Point Games who did the Shadow of the Colossus remaster or remake, I'm sorry. And that was just as incredible looking as this, but it's on a PS5 now. So it's really, really goddamn nice. I'd suggest probably Miles Morales first. It's cheaper and you can get through it real quick. But yeah, they're both good games. And that's all.
Awesome. That's really good to hear. I'm definitely jealous of Demon Souls. I've really been wanting to play that.
You
Keep
can buy it.
tempting. I could possibly. There's way more things I'd rather spend $70 on. I can't get over the $70 price tag. I just can't.
Me
I'm
neither.
Not there yet.
It's
gonna
a bit
take
much.
me. Yeah, it took me a little while when the. How was it? No, it wasn't the PS3 generation that the prices went up to 60. Right? It was the PS. Was it just last gen?
I feel like games were always 60. Am I crazy?
Yeah, you
50,
are crazy.
50, I don't remember.
Maybe they went up to 60 during the PS3. Somebody in the chat's going to remind me because this is something I should know because it was a big deal. Actually, no, it definitely was because I remember 360 games coming out first at 60 and going, well, I guess PS3 is going to follow suit with this. And it took me a while. I was like, man, $60 just feels like so much more than 50 and 70. Like, I get it, right?
Yeah.
Inflation and all that and cost of development, blah, blah, blah. But holy crap, man, I just haven't spent $70 on a game yet. Steve IRE says N64. Well, that's a good point, man. Like, I think Clay Fighter 33 and a third cost like $80. So the Mortal Kombat trilogy.
Oh, man, I remember that.
Yeah, those were so expensive. Some of those cards were so expensive. SP says it was PS3. Thank you for the confirmation on that. All right.
It's funny when you said Xbox because they also kind of introduced the low price point for video games with the indies and the Xbox Live Arcade and stuff, even though they had the higher price point too. I feel like that's a lot where that came from. Anyways.
Got to experiment with the scale of pricing structures. I'm just saying random words right now. I can't find the thing I'm looking for. All right, there it is. On my mark. Get Des. And go. So I haven't played flat screen games in forever, right? So playing flat screen anything is just like, oh man, it feels like a chore. I'm like, I'm not going to enjoy this. I'm gonna go put my chair up in front of the screen and make sure I can see it. You know, I'm working with, hey, what's up, buddy? But I got a cat in my lap suddenly. And so
that's never a bad problem to have.
No, definitely not. She's taking up all my time though. So I played Resident Evil 2 Remake. was like, hey, I really been wanting to play this for a while. I figure on my PlayStation 3 is good a place as any. And man, I am loving this game, right? I'm finally over the fact that it's not in first person, that it's not in VR. I can't stop thinking about both of those things, but I am enjoying it regardless of all that stuff. And man, what a beautiful game. What an absolutely beautiful game Resident Evil 2 Remake is. Obviously, nothing like the original RE2, except that there's the characters in the police station and stuff. But holy crap, man! Like I'm invested, and I'm probably gonna keep playing until I beat it. Very much looking forward to going back tonight. Definitely
Excellent.
should we?
Yeah, that's a great one. I'm surprised you hadn't played it for this long, but I'm glad you did finally, because that's
well, when people said like Final Fantasy VII, you got to play it, or people said, you got to play the Shadow of the Colossus remake, or you got to play Spider-Man, or you got to play God of War, or any of these other awesome AAA exclusive games we got on PlayStation 4, I said, yes, I will play some of those, maybe, but there's no way I'm going to play any of them before Resident Evil 2 Remake.
That makes sense.
And so now I'm finally playing RE2 Remake, and I'm like, okay, good. This is going to get me over that barricade. So, all right, what's going on, Tornado? What's happening? Okay. Okay. All right.
Are we both wearing long sleeves with Japanese writing on them, Brian?
I think so.
We match a little bit.
Yeah, we do a little bit.
Mine's for Dr. Pepper, though.
Okay, mine's definitely for PlayStation.
Yeah.
I'm not a Dr. Pepper fan. Not a Dr. Pepper
You're not
fan.
really?
Nope.
So my whole family grew up in Texas, and so they love Dr. Pepper. Everybody's got Dr. Pepper in the fridge. It's wild. Those Texans.
It's so sweet, and like it has like is it cherry flavor? Is that like the?
They have a cherry. They have a vanilla. They have it's just like anything. They got different.
Even the
spin-offs.
original feels like it has like a weird medicinal taste to it. I can't get over it. Yeah. Maybe we should get back to the show.
Let's get back on the show. Yeah, 15 goddamn minutes.
How's everyone doing out there? What are your thoughts on Dr. Pepper?
Y'all are the worst.
We're certainly not the best, but we should
spice it up.
I'm just kidding. We got a real quick donation from Belrami, the game cat 10.99 euros, and says PS5 Astrobot is amazing. Rest 2 Minecraft not it's broken. But also Devil May Cry is tons of fun.
I don't even understand what that means.
The remastered Devil May Cry is so fucking nice, man.
Yeah.
It plays so smoothly.
Why is Minecraft
OJ, you got to
broken?
get to that at some point.
Yeah.
I think they patched Minecraft and it broke something.
Probably.
Oh,
yeah,
We've also got the Triangulator with the $9.99 donation. Says, have any of you played new PS5 games inside your HMD on big VR screen or movies? Any improvements? Cheers. So that's an interesting question. I've never been. I know tons of people that play in cinema mode on the PS4. I never ever did this. I only watched like one movie in the past. And it was just to test it. It wasn't even like to do that. But I know a lot of people do that. In the chat, let us know. Do any of you guys out there like love cinema mode? Are you like big cinema mode people? I can say no, I don't do this. I just really play VR games. At most, I watched like a VR YouTube video, which was like for Dream, so it was even game related. What about you two? You guys?
So I haven't tried it yet, but I do have a thought on this. But kind of unfortunate that you can't play 3D Blu-rays on the PS5 anymore, because that was really the main, for me, the movie watching experience was like, oh, I don't have a 3D TV, so I can just pop in here and watch something cool. And it wasn't the best 3D effect I've ever seen, but it was pretty good. You didn't have to wear little red and blue glasses, and I liked it.
It was more subtle than a TV for some reason. It seemed more realistic or something. What are you doing?
But it wasn't bad. I just missed that you can do that, because I imagine HD 4K Blu-rays are still going to end up 1080p in your headset. So it's like, what's the difference there?
Oh, okay. If you're going to be in my lap, you're going to be on camera.
Brian informed me of something interesting, and that there's no movies on the PlayStation Store yet for PS5. All the there was even like he told me there was even a PlayStation 5 movie launch celebration thing, and it's on the PlayStation 4.
We can thank Todd Gio for that information. He's like, there is a PlayStation 5 celebration sale going on the PlayStation Network. And there are movies on sale as part of this promotion. And you can't access the movies for the PlayStation 5 celebration sale on your PlayStation 5. That
is insane.
It's totally ridiculous. And I got to say that at a certain point, okay, you're going down. At a certain point, I made a conscious decision. I was like, okay, where am I going to watch my digital movies? I'm going to watch my digital movies on PlayStation because I'm such a PlayStation guy. I have been for 20 plus years that there's no way I'm going anywhere else for my movies. So if I'm going to rent something, if I'm going to buy something, then I want them all in the same place. And only very, very rarely do I get something on Amazon if it's just nowhere else to be found, right?
Yeah.
And so
I'll rent wherever it's cheapest and wherever has the thing that I want. Usually, I'm not like a one ecosystem guy as much.
well, I just
So
like
it's
everything
weird
to be
that
in the
there's no
same
PS5.
place.
Yeah.
So
So
basically,
if you had bought PS4 movies, do they show up on your PS5? Can
So
you
you
watch them on the PS5?
you can watch them, but it's not. But they don't even have the app installed for that from the get go. You actually have to go find the
Oh,
app,
okay.
download the My Videos app on PlayStation 5 to watch the movies you bought on PlayStation 4. And again, the My Videos thing just shows you the videos you have. You can't buy anything new or rent anything new. And so I think like the 3D Blu-ray thing that can totally be done with a firmware update.
Software firmware, for
Right.
sure.
And then I'm really hoping that it's just some like weird licensing thing that Sony hadn't quite worked out yet, where like eventually you will be able to buy and rent movies on PlayStation 5 again, because the deal is that you've never been able to buy or rent movies from the PC site or from the app, but you always could from the PS3 or the PS4. So there's got to be some weird licensing thing that, since it's a different piece of hardware, you need different licenses. And I'm just
Yeah,
assuming that like
that
they
would make
haven't
sense.
gotten that all sorted out yet. But I really hope they do, because Sony's a huge entertainment company. They've got all sorts of movies and stuff. Like, I can't imagine that
Yeah.
movies weren't a huge part of their income.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they make the Spider-Man movies. Of course, they want to sell movies on a PlayStation. After I just finished playing Miles Morales, I can get into the Spider-Verse. Same story.
I had tweeted out that I want one of the features I want for the whenever it comes, the PSVR 2, is I want like a movie theater app, like Big Screen or something
Yeah.
where we can
Well-
use that. I just started using that rental service from Sony this year when Sonic came out, and with movie theaters and stuff kind of dying off, or definitely not having the same business that they did before. I feel like this is a great opportunity to capitalize on that, have some safe way where not only is it just like safer to do it this way, but also you can hang out with like friends that you have across the globe and watch movies together. And I would just love to see this integrated in the future.
So I think what we're going to see is first, hopefully, big screen before PSVR 2. I hope to God they get this on PSVR before we have to wait that long, because they've said over and over, like, it's coming, it's soon. And part of that is, I think what they're going to do, Sony will never allow you to have a theater where you can watch stuff with friends, where you can choose to stream something that not everyone has paid for. That will never happen. Like, you won't be able to just spin up whatever movie you want and show your friends. But I think, like big screen has now, you can rent a ticket, get in with your friends if everybody's rented the ticket, and watch something in a virtual theater. That's the direction it's going to go. Either free ad-supported content, like a lot of stuff on big screen is Pluto TV, so it's like a James Bond channel, but it's just the old
So
James
it's got
Bond movies
commercials or something?
with got commercials, and like they got a Star Trek channel and a Bob Ross channel. That's the kind of stuff I think you'll be able to watch with people, whether it's big screen or any other app. But like,
I'd rather just pay
streaming
and not
stuff
have
that you
ads.
own. I would actually like to pay to not have ads in big screen either, but
Yeah.
then it throws off the timing for everybody else in the free version of the room, and they see stuff later than you, and you can't talk about it.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you real quick though, Brian. People in the chat have been saying, "Are those the Pulse 3D headphones that you've got on your head right now?"
No.
Are they?
No, these are
Okay,
set-
that
They
didn't
do
think
look
so.
like it.
They do look like it. I just wanted to double check.
No, I only for PC stuff, I only get Sennheiser stuff, like the cheap end Sennheiser, because Sennheiser can get
Okay,
really
yeah.
expensive. But yeah,
Sennheiser is a good brand though. I like Sennheiser.
yeah, and they can get really really expensive, but but the low end
Yeah.
Sennheiser stuff is still really good, and that's generally what I go for. Shout out to Straka the VR Feline with the €27.99 donation, saying, "Watching you awesome guys on my freshly set up PS5 and got a nice message from Sony confirming the shipment of the adapter and thanking me for being a loyal PSVR player. Happy times." How come they don't give a fuck about the rest of us? I didn't get any messages or any thank yous. What
in
the
America,
hell?
they sent nobody a fucking message. In Canada, they're like, "Oh, here's your adapter, and they just sent out the message. And apparently in Europe too. So we're getting the short end of the stick here.
Thank you so much, Straka. We really appreciate the donation. Really glad that you got your PS5s. Everybody fucking all over the world right now. Very happy for everyone who got their PlayStation 5s. As I put in the description, it sucks that we're trying to be like, congratulations everybody that got their PS5. But at the same time, I'm like, man, everyone who hasn't gotten their PS5 yet, like, man, I have faith.
I got a text from I got a text from my friend earlier. We've got a bunch of news to go over and stuff today, and that is our first headline of the news is the worldwide launch. So yeah,
Let's
it is a
segue
great
into something we
so
are actually supposed to talk about.
This is a news show,
Or we could roll back to Dr. Pepper if you guys want to.
But I got
that's fine.
I got a text from my friend saying like, he was like, bah! And he was like sending me the thing. And apparently like the Walmart, they had like some sales. There was another like opportunity to buy PS5s today. And it just like totally went to hell. I saw Twitter exploded. It's funny. Like the reactions, the memes and everything were funny, but I feel for all the people trying to get out there. Hopefully they get more, like supply and get this ramped up soon.
Seriously.
Because we want everybody to have a PS5.
Yeah. I mean, I got so many PlayStation Network messages and Facebook messages from people today saying, "Oh my God, I was so close. I almost got one, or I tried and I fucking didn't get it." And I'm like, man, my heart just goes out to everybody because honestly, I don't think I think all three of us were in the same boat. I think Jeremy wasn't. A couple of my other friends were though. That in RidePop, like when it all kind of went down on Discord, when Wario64 first tweeted out those links before the official pre-orders went live on Amazon, and everybody on the Discord kind of got in on that. I didn't realize how lucky I was at that point.
Right.
Me neither, dude. At this point, it's crazy, like to see the scalpers and stuff, and like I'm just glad, like you said, like that we were all lucky enough, and there are people in the community who were lucky enough, but. I've also seen stuff saying like, "Hey, there's not much of a chance you're going to get one before the end of the year,"
and that's crazy.
And I think it really comes down to supply.
Yeah,
AJ and I talked about this on the phone the other night. Like, as far as supply and demand, Sony would love to sell more PS5s, but at the same time, you don't know how many you can sell when everyone is financially constrained right now by fucking coronavirus. Obviously, people don't have as much free income as they did. And then on the other hand, it's like. You can't make that many because it's during these times it's difficult to manufacture big electronics and stuff. So I think they meant to sell more. If they could have, they would have loved to have more available. But
I don't think we're at a point right now where they're going to run out of potential customers. I think they've got a long way to go. So and even, I think even people who are financially strained right now, I think I do think that it's unfortunate that maybe some people live a little bit beyond their means and like are just like, well, I just need to get this period and I'll deal with all this other bill stuff later, but I do think that there's probably a bunch of people in that situation too, or like, I'm just going to get it no matter what. I'll figure out the bills later.
That's true. Yeah.
And hopefully no one out there is putting themselves in a bad situation because of this. And please don't support the scalpers. Whatever you do, don't support the scalpers. Yeah. The last thing we need to do is have anyone spend $1,000 or something. Just wait a few months. Especially if you're a PSVR gamer. There's no
rush. Yeah. Like, I can think of 2 games that are way better. Well, just one.
The longer you wait, the better it's going to be. So you guys get the last laugh in the end.
Yeah. Shout out to Robbie B, the English Game Cat, with the $2 donation saying, question, did the system update speed up load times further?
Not that I'm aware of. I didn't notice.
I was hearing rumors about this today. Brian, what was your time off the top of your head? And we'll get into this again later, but off the top of your head, I'm trying to do like a formal. To like formally start the show, but we're in such deep conversation here and good conversation. I don't want to stop it.
Screw the show.
Off the top of your head, what was the load time for Firewall loading into a level?
I remember this on PS5. It was like 13 seconds.
I was thinking 13.
Am I wrong?
And then it was 26 or 30 on the Pro, right? Like
it was double.
So they might actually be onto something because I was doing some testing on PS5 today, and it seemed, now granted I was counting in my head, but it was.
We all know you're really bad at that.
Right?
I'm
super
actually
scientific.
I actually have pretty decent timing.
No, I'm just fucking
but it was actually seemed to be more like 8 seconds, 9 seconds, around there. So it might have actually shaved off a couple seconds there for the load time.
Well, so with Firewall, that's an unfortunate example because even though it's faster load times, everybody who's on a PS4, it makes you wait for them, and it doesn't load you into the map first. It loads you into a black screen where you wait for everyone else to load in. Which is like
no.
It does. I played for like 3 hours. It does every time.
Okay.
Public matches.
So wait,
at
hold on a
least.
I have
second.
it on
Wait, AJ, let
stream.
me ask you a question.
Public matches,
AJ,
at least. It
AJ,
definitely
what
does make you sit in a... Okay, whatever.
what were you playing today where you were testing those times? Were you playing public? Were you playing online matches?
Oh, you know what? That's a good
because
point.
I was doing
Today-
single player, so that
Yeah,
I can so I could control this which map and control basically control all of the variables. So I was
So
just
were
doing
you in
player.
single player too then, AJ?
That's a good catch. Today, when I was talking about the 8-second thing, I was playing the solo mode. Not yesterday though. Not yesterday though.
But-
And yesterday, like we were loading in, me and Killer Chicks were actually even making jokes about how we were loading in before everyone else and stuff, and how fast the voice comes out. That is actually one of the items on the list, so we'll get to that later. We'll go more in depth about some of these updates that came across. But guys, 15 items on the list today to talk about. There's a whole bunch of updates to some games, and then once we get past the news, we're going to do a deep dive on we're going to do our post-launch impressions with the PS5 and just talk about some of the more in-depth things we've noticed. Got some nice little tidbits to share that you might like. So of course, the first item is PS5 worldwide launch, which we've kind of already kicked off. We've also got 2 donations real quick. We've got two. We've got Ben Lee, the Spartan Game Cat from PSN, says, believe_H3 with the $5 donation, says, have any of you seen the new Philadelphia cream cheese ad, the PS5 lookalike one?
I'm playing it right now in the corner. This is so amazing.
Really? Oh,
It's like next gen cheesecake is here. And it looks like the PlayStation 5.
My God. I see it right now.
This is incredible.
That's amazing.
No, I never would have even seen this if it wasn't for Ben Lee.
That is hilarious.
That's pretty fantastic. Thank you so much for
Next-gen cheesecake. Oh, my God. Oh, man. We must take to the internet.
Thank you, Spartan Game Cat. We appreciate you. Really appreciate the love and donation. Next tip comes to us from Red Rover. Red Rover, send Joe Grover right over. The $30.
Okay.
Well, I guess we'll get back to it. $30 donation saying, I'm sitting at home with a blank stare, looking at my camera adapter with the big, mushy, watery puppy dog eyes. My wife comes in and says, you can always do the dishes. WTF? I guess I'm doing the dishes with puppy dog eyes.
You got a good one there.
Yeah.
Joe Grover, thank you so much, man. That is, I'm assuming this means you've got your camera adapter, but no PlayStation 5. I'm really, really sorry to hear that.
So I want to do this. Sorry, go ahead.
Good.
Well, I just want to reinforce that I know the difference between euros and pounds now. £5.
No.
From a name I can't pronounce.
Okay.
That is. Wait, that's pounds.
Yeah, you got it.
The euros looks like an E. I got it.
Dave, you've screwed me up. You've screwed me up so much.
I used to say he's right, Brian.
Yeah, I know.
Right. Yeah, you threw me up.
I was convinced he was wrong.
It's funny because I was so excited about knowing the currency that I didn't realize I couldn't pronounce his name. No Man's Sky love for PSVR on PS5. They've done it for flat. Seems crazy they wouldn't unlock that power and give us all the joy. Never count out No Man's Sky. They will update the shit out of the game forever. Something might happen. We can't say for sure that it won't. So
yeah,
that is one I find a little strange.
I mean, the whole let's be fair here. The whole PlayStation 4 only VR games thing is a little strange, right? I'm just waiting for Sony to say, "Oh, PSVR 2 coming." In 6 months, and then you'll get your No Man's Sky PlayStation 5 PSVR 2 version. Like when you're going to actually have games that fully take advantage of the PlayStation 5. I just that's what I'm waiting to happen, and that's the only thing that makes sense at this point. Why they're not just saying, yeah, whatever. Give it a nice big fat PS5 patch and make this thing like as super sharp and crazy high frame rates and whatever. I don't know.
When you change something like when you go from light tracking to another form of tracking on the next gen controllers, assuming, then it makes a big difference, right? You can't just be like, this is a graphical content update and have very similar features to a completely new form of tracking, new controller layout, stuff like that. It's a lot more complex than that. So yeah, but we got it. We'll have to get some answers within the next few months, I imagine. There's still, like we said, there's still things that seem a little on the incomplete side when it comes to the PS5 itself right now. There's no movies. There's like some of the UI stuff is a little like cumbersome, and it's strange. And it seems like, you know, there's also no 8K support, which there's no games in 8K yet. But they said that they're going to be upgrading the PS5 in the future with a firmware update
8K
that
is
will
bullshit anyway.
support 8K. But yeah, so there's things that still have yet to be done that we'll have to find out. And I'm guessing there's one of two routes really. Either there's going to be a PSVR 2 headset announced, and they're going to have like the software update or the dev kits being able to code and program and tweak for PS5 VR, or they're going to have to give us like some kind of updates that where they can legitimately upgrade the game on PS5. But it seems like they're trying to avoid that.
The only thing that makes sense right now is PSVR 2. That's the only thing that makes sense.
That makes the most sense.
Nothing else makes sense. Because everybody, I've seen so many comments from people saying how disappointed they are with Sony's handling a PSVR 1 on PlayStation 5. I will say that I'm fine with it because they've allowed backward compatibility. They sent out an adapter. They actually spent time and money and resources to like ship and make sure that everyone who had a PlayStation VR 1 could play on their PlayStation 5. I was like, that's cool. Except it doesn't. There's really not much of a difference. So like,
well, I think people are more frustrated with the messaging. You know, it's more
the lack.
We all kind of know or believe that the product is going to be there, but
yeah, absolutely,
it's the anticipation of when are we going to hear something, or you know what are we going to get in the meantime. Those are like the big answers that a lot of people are wondering about, and we do luckily have seen developers find a kind of a workaround for now, but there's nothing official. And again, this same thing applies to like some of the regular features of the PlayStation 5. I still can't get my external hard drive to work. You know, I need that fixed before anything else. I need the external hard drive to be working. The SSD expansion slot isn't fully unlocked yet and usable. The internal one. And there's no movies on the store. So it still seems like, you know, Brian, I've always chuckled when you've said you operate without Parole, kind of like it's stitched together and duct taped together.
Wire coat hangers.
And glue,
pretty much.
And glue and everything. And that's kind of how I feel like this launch is like they're honestly, I feel really lucky that we even have a PS5 right now. When you look at what's happened to the movie industry,
for sure.
What's happened to movie theaters, not like it is honestly every fucking video game right now feels like a blessing to me to even have. So that's going to help.
We're definitely in the beta phase of PlayStation 5 launch.
right. And you know, I bet you they'll take a lot of player feedback and use that to shape the future of it. And this is just the beginning, man. This is going to be our console for the next 6-7 years.
That'd be your console. I've already got my PS5 Pro pre-order in. Shout out to Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, with the $5 donation, saying it's tough not giving in to the scalpers, but y'all give me the strength to have patience.
Be strong, man.
Keep on.
Thank you so much.
Don't give everybody $1,600 for a PS5.
Don't tell me that's how much you're going for.
It's not that fucking. I've seen $1,400.
What? That's insane.
If I didn't have a channel, I wouldn't even probably have picked up a PS5 right now. Although there is a great launch lineup, I will say I got to give them props, at least for their non-VR stuff. This is probably like one of the best launch lineups.
I'm having a great time with the stuff. It's great. So
this maybe would have been different for me, but typically in the past, I would always wait 1 year before buying a console. This is the first time I've ever pre-ordered a console or had one day one. And yeah, it was to avoid stuff like, you know, the little things that I'm dealing with right now. Little things, but still.
Dude, you're dealing with little things. I'm like, why is this thing even plugged in? Honestly, I'm just like, I could just put this thing aside right now until PSVR 2 comes
that's
out.
not the experience that I'm having at all.
Yeah, no, sir.
There's so many cool things about it, man. We'll talk later about that.
We can talk later. Maybe later on the show.
We're tabling it for now. But.
But yeah, no, we have a ton more to go over. You, like I said, you guys are gonna love some of the stuff we have to share about the PS5, some of the features, some things to look forward to. But yeah, congratulations to everybody out in the EU and everywhere in the rest of the world that picked up their PS5 today. Your adapters look like I saw that they were coming out earlier this week. Everyone's been sending me their pictures saying, "Look what I got, dude!" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, man! Keep sending me your pictures. I love seeing it. I love the enthusiasm and the energy. Good energy all around, man. Good stuff. I love to see it, dude."
Big tip coming in. Communist being the game cat, 50 North Korean kroners says, "How perfect isn't it with the vacation the rest of November? That now that PS5, am I reading this wrong? How perfect isn't it with the vacation the rest of November now that PS5 is here? Hype. I think he's on vacation.
You must
Good
be on
work,
vacation.
Communist being. That's
Good
the way to
timing.
do it. I took a whole week off after the PS5, so you're doing the right thing there.
Yeah,
Thank you for the tip. Good stuff.
agreed.
He capitalized perfect, and I was like, we talked about the game.
That's what threw me off too. I was like, and then I couldn't parse the sentence after that threw me off. I was like, ooh.
Right. Yeah. Perfect. By the way, have we gotten have we figured out? I know it's not in the store anymore. Has anyone actually started the game Perfect to see if it works?
I don't know. I mean, it was never good. I'm glad it's banished from the store. No one should ever have to buy it again. Thumbs down on Perfect.
Okay. I mean, I don't ever want to play it. I just want to know if it works or not. I put in the code and everything. I downloaded it. Jay Meow had me open my physical version of the assembly / Perfect, and then put in the key. I downloaded it and then forgot to actually start it and see if it worked. I don't know. Very strange.
Brian, I'm sending you something right now. So we've got some news stories to take care of first, and then we'll get back. We got a lot more to talk about at PS5. We're going to talk about every single game that not every single game, but some of the games that has a significant difference with the PS5 that, if you are especially one of our game cats with a PSVR and something you can look forward to. But first, the Game Awards have been announced. They're going to be happening in December. I don't
What a
remember
hack show. What a hack show. Jeff
December
Keighley
10th.
and his hack.
But
Who even
there
came
is
up with the idea for Game Awards?
there is some
so
significance here because there is a category for best VR and AR games. And some familiar faces you might see. We've got Dreams, and Brian, I just sent you a picture
Yeah.
that email. You can plop it up there.
Plop it.
Not that the pictures. But we've got Dreams is nominated for best VR game, AR game. Actually, they're all VR. None of them are AR. So, but Dreams, Half-Life Alyx, Marvel's Iron Man VR, Star Wars Squadrons, and The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Yeah, you know who we're rooting for. Look at that poster on AJ's wall.
Yeah, I'm definitely rooting for Saints and Sinners here. Although this is all really good company. Sadly, I think I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, so I can't judge for myself.
I'm voting for Half-Life Alyx.
It's great. It's a pretty good game.
But because of the magnitude of that game and what it means to a lot of people, I could totally see that stealing it. But all the other ones I think are pretty well deserving. I got to be honest, this might sound bad, except for Iron Man. I'm not crazy about
Iron Man. Shouldn't be in that list.
No,
Also,
you look at those other games and you're like, yeah, these are mind-blowing game changers when it comes to VR. And then you look at Iron Man, and I like Iron Man a lot, but it is like, okay, this is where you're starting to see some of the politics here.
Well, and the other thing is nobody gives Oscars to Avengers movies. You know what I mean? Like it's not like that. It's a different kind of movie. Like, Scorsese was being a dick, but essentially he's right in a way. It's a different kind of film. And so like a superhero thing, I don't know, Spider-Man is great, but Iron Man doesn't reach anywhere near the highs of the Spider-Man games. So when it comes to VR games, I think it's really important that they don't hold anything back, trying to play it safe, trying to be as VR as hell and VR as possible. And to me, Iron Man, it has again, I love the main core gameplay. I thought the story was also really good, but there's little things, the loading screens, the places where the loading screens were placed, the teleporting around the
Tony Stark's mansion or whatever.
Well,
and
yeah, I mean, everything in between the cool parts of the game was deficient.
right.
I think
These
so.
are
Like,
things
why
you don't.
put it on a pedestal? Yeah.
Yeah, these are things you don't want to do in VR. You don't want to be sitting there unable to move and interact with anything in VR. And I feel like that's something that it did. But I don't want to hate on Iron Man. I still think it's a great game. Yeah.
So you're making a good case here. I like your case, but you have to follow through, man. You got to come. You got to finish off with a bang, and you got to say what should take Iron Man's place on that list as the 5th VR game to vote for.
You're not allowed to say Immortal Legacy.
Did that even come out this year?
I know, but nobody knows when it came out because no one cares about Immortal Legacy.
Well, Star Wars Squadrons is there, and I'm happy to see that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wasn't prepared for that because I'm having trouble thinking about what else came out.
I will tell you, the only game I believe that the other game that came out this year that I was so blown away with and enjoyed so much that I would put up there with those games, even though it's not, as we say, VR as fuck, is a Room VR Dark Matter.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, even that.
I thought you were going to say Separation or something, but I don't know when things came out.
I love Separation. That actually came out, I think, January or February, but I couldn't put it up in the top 5 against those.
Nah.
Yeah, but the Room was fantastic.
But I get a shout out on the honorable mentions if you guys haven't watched that beautiful top 25 vid that Brian put together. That took him hours and hours of blood, sweat, and I'm assuming tears.
And a little bit of truth. But it's blood and truth and tears and sweat. Yeah. It's the sequel.
Donatello says
awkwardly titled, but I'll play
the awkwardly titled sequel to Blood and Truth. Yeah. And not nearly as entertaining. I don't own guns. Real quick, Donatello, the Scientist Game Cat, with a $10 donation says, "Psst, Brian, here's a little bribe so you can rig the next top 25 to ensure Resident Evil 7 is number 1. Don't tell anyone."
I mean, technically, he could rig it any time he wanted to because it's his channel, so it's not really up to us.
Well, really, whenever we put it up to the vote, like that's what always happens. We argue and argue and argue and argue. And we say we're not putting it up to a vote. We're not putting it up. And we argue and argue and argue and argue. And then finally, I give in and say, "Let's put it up to a vote. I have faith in the cats. They're going to be on my side." And then you all let me down. So really, if you want to rig it, then all you need to do is get a few of your friends to watch the stream and vote, and you're good to go. And not that many people vote.
Just create multiple
Tornado,
YouTube
what
accounts.
Are you doing, buddy?
But yeah, so good luck to all the nominees. You know, when I look at all the other stuff, I'm like, well, Iron Man kind of does make sense. It is a big, like, from a technical standpoint, I'm like, but when I look at everything else, I mean, it is a lot bigger than some of the other things I see. But I agree with like Room VR Dark Matter. I think it was fantastic presentation.
Venture says, "What about Until You Fall?" And that came out on PC last year. And this is just kind of an overarching VR category. Yeah. It's not PSVR specifically, like a real award show would do. Yeah. So we want to announce. I've decided.
He keeps saying. Yeah,
I've decided to get my shit together, and we're gonna do the PSVR award show. Usually we do it every year on October 13th, which is the anniversary of the PlayStation VR launch. I just did not have my stuff together at that point, and like a lot of stuff was going crazy. Tornado, you're driving me crazy right now. Tornado, she's like almost on the keyboard. I'm like, she could stop the stream at any minute. I'm like, what are you doing, buddy? Just move it or lose it. Pick a side.
You're gonna keep her out here.
She's never done what she's doing before. Like, she's just trying to drive me crazy. So anyway, we're gonna do the award show on, let me get this right, December 19th, which is a Saturday. And so that gives me about a month to get kind of all my ducks in a row, and we're gonna figure out how all the voting's gonna happen this upcoming week. No messing around. If the game's not out yet, then it's not going to be part of the award show for this year. So make sure you join the Discord, and that is where the voting will happen. And that's all I've got right now. But stay tuned on the Discord over the next couple of days, and that's where all the voting will happen. We're going to get that all knocked out over the course of the next week. All the winners for the PSVR award show are chosen by you.
Right.
The three of us have nothing to do with it. Well, we can vote. The three of us will vote, but hopefully we're just a small number of the.
But I refuse. I will not vote.
Right. But it's been so good. The last couple of years have been amazing. Especially last year was so good. We had Greg Miller presenting. We had Nathy presenting. Who else? We had
the guys from You got the everybody's golf.
We had that guy as Will.
Like,
We had the Five
Ian.
Nights at Freddy's. We had there's so many, man. It's always such a magical event.
And stuff. It was wild.
We had Ian Higton from Eurogamer. I mean, it was just it was insane. Like every single person I asked to present an award said yes, and I was like, that's crazy. Like I just don't know what happened. Like everything kind of came together and went really, really well. So I guess we're gonna try that again this year and see what happens.
Yeah.
And then of course,
sure I could come up with something better than sitting in a chair with a blazer on, holding a guitar for the next intro, because that was not very good when I look back on it.
Well, and the other thing that we started doing last year was doing announcements, whether it be reveals of new games or updates or it's kind of like basically just cool things that are PlayStation VR related that you might be interested in, and just having like cool reveals like the Game Awards has been doing. And so that really started taking off last year. So I'm really gonna I've already talked to a bunch of developers who have promised me exclusive PSVR stuff for this show. I'm talking to Perp right now. They're trying to figure out if they're going to be involved. So a lot of things are up in the air, but it's going to be awesome no matter what. We're going to have fun. It's a live event. Everybody, I'm going to be hanging out with you guys in the chat. We're going to be running the whole thing. I'm going to be pulling some levers and stuff behind the scenes. What are you doing, Tornado? I think Tornado is going to be one of the presenters.
So what we're saying, guys, is go ahead, take to Reddit, take to Twitter, take to social media, and be like, email Upload VR and be like, PSVR Without Parole announces award show, PSVR Awards 2020, 2019.
No. Yeah, so that's going to be really exciting. It's also going to be a lot of work. So if you see a little bit less content over the next month on the channel, that's why, because every day is going to be behind the scenes, like just corresponding with people, editing, and trying to get a lot of these animations and stuff together. And so it's gonna be a lot of work, but it should be a whole lot of fun too.
World premiere.
Yeah. So if you've never watched a PSVR award show before on Without Parole, you're definitely muted, Dave.
No, I'm not.
Now you're not.
I smacked the microphone a couple of times.
If you've never watched, go check out last year's show. Go check out the year before that. We've only done this will only be the third one, but go check them out. It takes so much work, and not a lot of people watch it. Honestly, like I think 8,000 people watched last year's. So check it out and see what's coming up.
Real quick, I want to get Delirium Drew VR with the $5 tip here. Almost too nice. He says, Brian, that top 25 list video was amazing in all caps. Well done, AJ and Dave on the voiceovers. Also, God, it's quite an amazing list! ! A little congratulatory. It was pretty good, but God, it's quite an amazing list. Drew, keep it in your pants.
No, that's great, man. Thank you.
I loved her.
I'm very, very proud of that list. You guys helped us with that list as well, so thank you so much. I'm very proud of that list for sure.
Yeah, it came out really well.
The games we've had a stellar year. This is going to be a really, we'll wrap up this award show conversation, but this is going to be a very interesting award show because there are some good, like great games, great categories that came out this year. I cannot wait to put them up against each other and see who wins. May the best games win.
Tiffany with the daggers for Upload VR. Still more than watched the Upload VR awards show from last year. Wow, she's coming out hot. Okay, Tiffany.
All right. It's gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of work. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah. December is gonna be a huge award season. Good luck to everybody, and congratulations to all the nominees. Well deserved, man. All right, so there was a huge leak. I don't know if you guys heard about this story. A couple weeks ago or something, Capcom was basically they reported that they were hacked and they were threatened with leaking a bunch of information. No credit card data was leaked, but they did. It was confirmed that I guess that potential employee information, other things, had gotten compromised. And it always sucks when you hear that, man. Being an IT guy, cybersecurity is definitely a constant pain in the ass. That's why every Windows update, you always want to keep your computers and electronics always up to date. Never, if you ever get an email that says, do this right now, send me your name right now, blah, 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 anything, make sure you read through it very closely. If it's something asking for your personal information.
If only Capcom had listened to you.
How did we get here? Okay.
I just don't ever recommend sending out your personal information.
You're talking about this. My new boss is always talking about ransomware as if she's just heard of it for the first time, and she's freaking out about ransomware. And I'm like, I think we're fine, but I don't know.
Well, hopefully you have good security. But anyways, so amongst this thing, apparently Capcom never gave in, never gave them the money. So there were some reported leaks that happened. We don't know if any of this is true, so take this with a grain of salt. There were some interesting things like a Resident Evil 4 game that was apparently coming to Oculus that's in the works or something. I don't know what that means. I don't know if that means Oculus Quest, Oculus Rift. I would think the Quest, but
Yeah, because it's Resident Evil 4. It runs on a Wii, so I feel like you can probably make it run on a Quest these days. Like the motion controls were great. That's like the best way to play it on the Wii. So I can feel like that's pretty easily adaptable. It's just
maybe I personally don't expect it to be. I personally don't expect it to be like a full remake.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I don't know about a full Resident Evil 4 remake running on the Quest, unless it is an older version.
They have, probably.
Yeah, I don't know, but the other, and amongst the other things, there's a ton of other things. There's like Monster Hunter Rise and a bunch of other things. This comes from VG247.com, and they said some regarding Resident Evil Village leaks. The upcoming mainline Resident Evil game, which has only been announced for next-gen consoles and PC, is indeed also coming to PS4 and Xbox One. The leaked document explains that Capcom will announce the current gen versions ahead of launch. As for the game's release target, the same document suggests it'll arrive in late April 2021. As expected, Resident Evil Village will also receive a demo ahead of launch, with Sony platforms seemingly getting it 2 weeks ahead of other platforms. Now, this is pretty oddly specific, so it does sound like it could be legit, having all these extra details in here. But yeah, we had heard about Capcom testing PlayStation 4 out, and also testing it with PSVR. This came, the PSVR part I think was either was leaked from testers, but the PS4 thing was actually announced at Tokyo Game Show, that they said no promises, but if we can, we would like to get it on VR. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that. What do you guys think of a PS4 version of Resident Evil Village?
I mean, sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't see why you couldn't run it. It's the same engine as RE7, so unless they're trying to do something crazy, they could probably downscale it pretty easily to PS4.
You know what?
There's going to be a lot of games that are both PS4 and PS5. I think we'll see a ton of cross-platform games for the next 6 months at least, if not the next year. So
does that bother you?
No, it doesn't bother me. I think that's normal. I mean, every PS3 got games that had a PS4 version for a while. And as a person who hadn't bought a PS4 at that time, I appreciated that, and I still bought those games on PS3. That will still continue with PS4, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it would be ludicrous for them not to release it on PlayStation 4. I mean, it's just, Resident Evil 7 sold so many copies because the install base was so big.
Yeah.
You got to have a large install base to sell a lot of copies. And so as much as, we want it to be as next gen as possible, and we would love it if it was a PSVR 2 title, it's like, whatever, man. It's like, Capcom's going to make money. We want them to keep making games. And if you got to release it on the current gen or last gen, I guess at this point, to make your money, then by all means, man. Like, that's fantastic. And Resident Evil 7 looked fantastic. So, I mean,
yeah.
I'm sure 8's going to look just as good.
Yeah, I'm, during times like these, I'm a little bit more, I'm always looking forward. I want next gen as soon as possible. I don't want to really, my primary concern is not necessarily backwards compatibility stuff, especially, some of the struggles you see with Cyberpunk 2077 being delayed so many times because they're trying to stretch it out across 20 different platforms. And it sucks to see that. That being said, during a time like this, I think it's smart for all these companies to focus on how to get the most for their investments, get the most out of their games, and I would certainly hope that doesn't cut back any features, anything from Resident Evil Village, and if it doesn't, that would be great. But it'll be interesting to see. It still gives me a question of what about in terms of VR, what does this mean for VR? Are we still going to be maybe waiting for a next gen headset, Or because this game is supposed to be coming out by April, does this mean we could potentially get a PS4 VR version sooner than for this instead?
I mean, I think it's more likely just because there are certain games that without analog sticks are not going to work that well. But Resident Evil is probably still going to be DualShock based. I have to imagine that at least the initial VR version of Resident Evil 8 is DualShock based or DualSense based or whatever you want to call it. So it's not that much of a stretch to think of it happening, but we don't know anything at this point. So
yeah. I'm a little. So was it part of the same leak where we found out that that Sony paid Capcom $5 million to get Resident Evil 7
Yes.
on PlayStation VR for exclusive? Okay, so
Right.
we don't know if they paid them to do it or if they paid them to keep it exclusive, and I think those are two very different situations.
Sound like do it.
if they paid them to keep it exclusive, they must have paid them again because they said it wasn't going to stay exclusive, and then it never came to PC. It still is not on PC.
Right.
The word on the street is that they paid for the exclusive and they were going to do it on PC and then just kind of dropped the project.
I like how when you said word on the street, you got real shady looking. You started looking side to side. Word on the street is, I heard from a guy.
Keep it on the down low,
It's a guy who's got information in his trench coat.
I don't want to get anybody in trouble is all the thing, you know what I mean?
My uncle works at Sony,
My uncle says.
So, but the big question is, like, is this, even if it comes to PlayStation 4, will it be a PSVR title? That is so up in the air.
Open question
It is,
forever.
definitely. Yeah, it's an open question, and honestly, like we talked about this before, we talked about how it would be amazing if Sony kind of lined up the PlayStation VR 2 launch to coincide with the launch of RE8 or RE Village, and so that
I think Astrobot 2 is a better way, but if you have both, then that's good.
throw Gran Turismo 7 in there, you get the trifecta. Gran Turismo,
Absolutely.
is it 7?
Yes.
Yeah. Is it?
8. No, 4?
It was 6,
It's
then Sport, now,
Turismo.
and then 7's coming up. We've
6.
been talking about 7 for so long that it feels like it's already out. Just like we've been talking about RE Village so long that it feels like it's already out. So yeah, that's just, I don't know. You guys know already. I am definitely of the opinion that PSVR 2 is coming sooner rather than later. At absolute latest this time next year. But I really do think it's coming earlier in 2021 than this. And so like lining it up to coincide with these kind of things would be perfect, absolutely perfect. So I don't know, man, it's just gonna be a waiting game.
Brian.
I'm such an optimist, and I know that bites me in the ass all the time, but I'm okay with that, man. I'd rather like look to the future being positive and ignoring all the fucking ridiculous hate on the internet over stupid things and say, what would an actual business do? If these businesses are not being run by little girls. Or people with vengeances, or people with, it's like they're trying to make money. What would a company that's trying to make money do? And that's and hope.
Girls run the business. If I was trying to make money, they know how to sell to little girls. Not enough little girls have PS5s. That's all I'm saying.
That's probably true. They
I
need to
think
make
it's
an
going to be
iCarly game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little longer because not super long, but I think it's going to be a little longer because of COVID related.
I smell a pizza bet.
Yeah, we'll get into a pizza bet later. But I think COVID has a lot to do with this. Supplies, distribution, things like that. I think that is the main reason for the delay. Also, like I said before, when Sony releases a new product, they don't just go, here's, the cheapest thing possible. They go, here's the revolutionary, next gen, better than everyone else's thing. Here's all the exclusives for it and the amazing features and stuff that it has. And so that's going to take time to develop as well. And they're still getting their stuff together when it comes to PS5. So, but yeah, interesting leak here for sure. Going to be keeping an eye on and seeing what happens there. Because it's crazy. Hopefully everyone there is protected and safe and doesn't get their information leaked out or compromised.
Yeah. And as far as that Resident Evil 4 thing goes, that game looked amazing on GameCube when it came out. Even they had to kind of like cut a few corners when they ported it over to PS2, and it still is great. It's still one of the best looking PS2 games out there. Like, it's really like, I think if it's there's an Oculus deal going on there. Oculus so far doesn't seem to have spent a ton of money on permanent exclusives. A lot of their stuff seems to be temporary, timed exclusives.
Yeah,
and so that's why, I mean, I'm assuming why, if these documents are even legit, we don't even know. We got to be very clear about that. This could all be faked, and it could be faked very, very easily. It's totally possible that that's just like an Oculus deal that's going on now, and then, it'll eventually come to PSVR 2 later or something like that. So
I want to play devil's advocate here briefly. AJ, you had that whole shtick about, be careful with your password, don't click on phishing emails, cybersecurity.
And you're going to tell people that they should?
Well, here's the thing. If you work at a company like Capcom, maybe do click that phishing email, because then we'll get all the info. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leak a little bit. I didn't know. I take my class on cybersecurity.
No one from Capcom is listening to us right now, so don't worry, man. It's going to be fine.
If you work at a major game company, take all the phishing emails you can get and let us get that info, because I'd like to know.
So
in terms of Brian's optimism about something coming sooner than later, I think where I feel optimistic is maybe an announcement. I think an announcement and a firmware update that allows developers to develop VR stuff, have the tools for VR 2 dev kit stuff included in the PS5, because that's currently not there, which is why developers are having to use this workaround of developing, unlocking stuff using dynamic resolution to upgrade their PS4 game to take advantage of the PS5. So,
which is still super rare. Like there's only a couple games that do that,
right?
And Dreams is the only one where it's a notable improvement,
right?
I would say.
Well, no. We'll get to that later. There's definitely more. Not many though. Yeah. You're right though. Not many. There's not like a whole lot here. But moving on in the news, Minecraft. Big shout out to Belram, the Game Cat. Minecraft servers and realms are coming to PSVR and PlayStation. Cannot wait. Well, it just says PlayStation, but we're gonna assume since the full game is in VR, it is PlayStation. This is huge news. This comes from Minecraft.net. It says, quote, "It's official. Servers and realms are coming to PlayStation." So you know what that means? I don't actually. I have to swallow my pride and actually make some friends. I know my sparkling personality and even sparklier pores would lead you to believe that I am surrounded by friends and fans all day long. Dear reader, this is not the case. I am a lone wolf. Who wrote this?
What are you reading?
I don't even know. I tuned out like a minute ago.
But now that is possible to explore the Wild West that is community servers and attend exclusive realms parties. I'm going to have to get myself a social life.
They need to drug test whoever wrote that.
I love it, man.
They need to not drug test, because I want that guy to keep his job.
Let him keep going.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Servers and realms open up different ways to play with your friends. When you play on a server, you can explore community-run worlds. This gives you access to unique content created by your fellow Minecrafters, whom you can also play with. Servers are full of competitive game modes, builds, and mini games, so creative that only our incredible community could have dreamed them up. Make new friends that love Minecraft as much as you do, but remember that the chat has a filter, and any misconduct can be recorded in game. Not recorded, reported. So be kind. We all need to do our part to keep the world safe, whether it's digital or not. That is in terms of servers. The way that it currently works, you have to be in the game and people join, and then if you leave, they all get kicked out,
right,
and stuff. So now there's going to be dedicated servers, it looks like, where you can build a world and people can roam around in it while you're not there. That is huge. What is that, Dave?
Oh, no, keep going.
So realms also allow you to, this is also still from the article, this is in regards to realms, because I don't know what any of this is. I'm reading it and finding out for myself. Realms also allow you to play with other people, but in this case, you send out personalized invitations. Play with your friend in your very own world, no matter where you happen to be in the real one. Turn it into your personal playground that has no respect for borders, time zones, and the laws of physics. And then this goes on to say like Realms Plus and stuff. So I don't know enough about Minecraft to know any of this stuff.
I feel like whoever wrote that needs to learn what bullet points are.
Yeah. Did you read the whole article yet? That's what I was trying to time, like how long it took to read the whole blog post. I
wasn't gonna read the whole thing.
Okay. So I think the big thing that I've heard is that people who play Minecraft a lot were waiting for this and excited for this. And so like people who are already into it, this is big news. For like a casual player, I don't really know how much it means, but it is something people were asking for. in the VR PS4 version.
Oh yeah.
It's a big update, even though it might not make sense to some people, or why is this cool or whatever.
Well, I mean, this already makes sense. Like from like day one, like AJ had a bunch of cats in his world that were all building stuff, and he was like, "Well, I'm kind of done playing," and he had to leave his PlayStation up and running while he like went and did other things, so that people in his world could keep building and keep doing their thing and hanging out. So like from day one, like this was pretty relevant to us. So this is good stuff, and I love seeing. I got to be honest, when I was doing the comparison video and I jumped into Belramio's world, and of course he had to be there to let me into his world both times on the PS4 and then again on the PS5 so I could capture footage. It would be nice to just be like, hey, I'm gonna go jump into Bel's world. He's not even there. I'm just gonna go check it out and like hang out there. But seeing his world and seeing how well it was designed and how cool it looked, how much time he'd spent building stuff, and then I see in this trailer that's running here like some worlds that don't even look like Minecraft because they look like cities. It's just amazing what people have built and what people have created, and being able to like go check these things out without needing the people to actually be there, just kind of like jumping from world to world, is going to be really cool to check out. I'm so excited to spend more time in Minecraft. Certainly one of my favorite PSVR games of the year.
I really had trouble. Dave, your mic's out again. I had a lot of trouble. Belramio made this world. I wanted to explore it, and we would have had to coordinate it. So I'm excited to where I will be able to go and visit his roller coaster in that lava mountain thing. And
the roller coaster is so intense. It's so fast that I'm like, I have to keep I was like hitting the analog stick constantly, trying to keep facing forwards. Otherwise, it's just like boom, 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 boom. I don't even know.
Well, this is wonderful because the best part about Minecraft for me so far, I'm such a noob with it still.
Me too.
I've only learned like the basic crafting and survival. I can hear
You're
you,
good.
but to me, the multiplayer is the best part, especially with all the cats. How many cats we had in there? That was the best part of Minecraft by far.
Well, in this trailer is saying play with up to 10 of your friends. Now, currently it's 8 players on PSVR, but it's saying play with up to 10 of your friends, which wouldn't that make it 11 players? Play with up to 10 of your friends.
Phrasing.
Maybe.
It's just poor phrasing.
Maybe.
Choose 11 as the 10 or 12. Pick a round number.
Right? Shout out to Wonder Rob with a $5 donation and says, Angel Crypt.
Yeah.
We actually missed a previous one from Rob, and I wanted someone else to read it because it's about my hair, and I don't want to read it myself.
Oh, well, I'm scrolling way, way, way back. Holy crap, there
Wonder
it is.
Rob,
You got it?
Yep.
with the $5 donation, says, Dave, you should get hair done like Vince Noir, a.k.a. Noel Fielding.
So if that doesn't make sense to people, we've been watching The Mighty Boosh. I'd never seen that before, but one of the two main characters is kind of a foppish. Like, he always calls himself a mod, and he's got this hair, and he's like Vince Noir. He's like the cool guy or whatever.
It's all starting to make sense.
And so if I dyed my hair a little bit, I could probably pull that off for Halloween or something.
We've also got Belramio the Game Cat with a €5 donation, $5.49, and says, thanks to PS5, I could check 320 hours in Minecraft. Woo! I will definitely tell you guys about that later. That's one of the features I want to talk about. That's so cool. But yeah, so amazing news. And by the way, for all of you questioning like the article, at like towards the end, it says, what are you still doing here? Shouldn't you be off gallivanting with your friends? All you have to do is look up servers, a tab in the main Minecraft menu or subscribe to Realms and then send out your invites. And it does say that you need PlayStation Plus to do so. So massive news. I'm sure a lot of people are going to be excited about this. This is I am excited to check this out.
Around with 11 of my friends, or 10 of my friends,
and you make 11,
and me.
Right.
So moving on in the news, Beat Saber last week got an update. Was last week?
It must have been Friday. Yeah.
Well, it's actually got another update today since I had a chance to play it. So 2 updates to talk about.
Yep.
Yeah, and the last week's update brought the BTS pack, new UI, lots of new things. But it also broke the game all week long.
So
people have been complaining about Beat Saber being really broken. I never actually played it. I remember Brian deleted his stream because of how broken.
I deleted my stream the second it was over. Like I was playing and I was like, this will be fine. I'll play on expert. I'll probably lose a few times, but I'll get to at least sample all the songs. And I'm in there, and I keep having to like squat. Like I'm actually like squatting,
Oh,
crouching,
yeah.
and
They
like
were low.
Yeah.
Super low.
yeah. In the the bobblehead tiny tin. What the hell are they called? I forget.
BTS guys, or
Yeah, but
BTS,
those bobblehead kind of like cutesy
calling them like
super
little
Funko
like
Pops.
Tinkerbell fairy like characters because they just like pop up.
You trying to say Funko Pops, or is there another name?
No, they're called Tiny Tin. That's what it is.
Tiny
Oh.
Tin.
So
Okay.
and so yeah, these super deformed characters would like kind of float up and like come right in my face, and like they wouldn't come right in my face. That's a totally different video. Dave wasn't listening.
I was. No,
no.
Drew's talking shit. So
It's all right. Drew can talk shit. It's okay. So they'd actually get into my vision, block my vision of the blocks, and I was like, this can't be right, and like unless they're trying to create obstacles. And after like a minute of playing a song, my legs would start hurting because I'm like squatting to try to be at the right height, and the height adjustment the height adjustment in the settings wasn't working right, and the floor adjustment in the main menu wasn't working right, and I was like, I can't fucking play this thing, and I was miserable. And so I just finally quit, and I was like, I quit out of frustration. I don't like the new UI, just to top it all off.
I don't like the new UI either.
Right? And when the stream was all over, I was so frustrated. I was like, I hope you saw it because I'm deleting it. Gone.
So for me, I was able to, last night I streamed this before today's patch that supposedly fixed everything.
Yeah.
And I did the floor adjustment and just made myself really short in terms of what the game thought, like a good 1.5 feet shorter than I am in real life. And then it was like playable. I was still missing blocks that I shouldn't have missed. It was still off a little bit, but it was still playable. I want to say, though, the background that they introduced with the BTS pack is my favorite fucking background they've had so far.
More than Linkin Park?
No, the scenes when it opens up and gets bright and you're like out in the sky and you see the clouds and stuff, and it's been like a sort of dark, gloomy cloud thing, and then it opens up.
I agree.
I think it's really gorgeous. I really like the way it looks.
So just in case I didn't make it clear, there was a patch today that fixed the all these issues that we're talking about.
Yeah.
I played this pack for the first time. It was $14.99, but it was also a lot bigger than their usual.
Yeah,
there's a lot of songs.
I think it's 12 songs.
They usually
the best we'd gotten before that was 11. Now this was 12, I think.
And they usually cut up the songs a lot. Like when you listen to the real versions of the songs, the Beat Sabers versions are usually modified, like smaller versions of them. And these seem like, I mean, I was playing, I'm like, wow, this is like the full song. It seems like
they're a pop band, and so they probably just do 3-minute songs all the time, anyways. Like that's just their bread and butter. 3-minute song.
But I totally agree, Dave, that the background, the colors are really nice. It's really colorful.
It's just a totally different vibe from any other stage you have in Beat Saber. It's nice. I really like it.
Aesthetically, visually, yes. The music is definitely along the same lines of what they kind of do. It's like it's very upbeat. It's very poppy. It's heavy electronic. Honestly, I was not interested at all. But I played it and I enjoyed like half of it, I'd say so far. I haven't played the whole thing yet. What I've played, I enjoyed about half of it. If I wasn't playing this in Beat Saber, I probably wouldn't enjoy this music at all.
Absolutely.
So there's a few songs I recognized, a few songs I didn't, but enjoyed. Because some of them are I mean, this BTS, if you look at these videos, they've got like probably 20-30 million views on them, I guarantee you. Like they're a very popular band. Right. So I've heard a couple of them like just out and about, maybe on the radio or in a store or something, a commercial, I don't know. But then grocery store music.
Is this more grocery store music?
No, it kind of is. But the ones that I hadn't heard, some of them were decent. A lot of them I didn't like that much, honestly. Yeah. The ones where they lean more into like, we're going to be like a swagger rapper in this one. Yeah, it's like, I don't think K-pop stars are great at rapping, and it always comes off a little bit like forced machismo or something, like, oh, I'm so fucking cool. And it's like, and then they go to singing so sweetly in the chorus, and it's like, dude, you're just trying to appeal equally to both genders. I get it, but it feels like a kind of a pastiche of all sort of genres of music. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I said I wanted a K-pop pack, but this isn't exactly the K-pop pack that I wanted.
Be careful what you wish for.
But I didn't.
I definitely was feeling, but I think this music, some of it, like the more poppy stuff, the upbeat and bright and stuff kind of works better. But like you said, the background, the clouds, I like this direction they're going with the actual like animated backgrounds and stuff. Like Brian said, the Linkin Park one had like the cool ass tunnel. This one has like the clouds in the background. This is so much better than what we used to get like a year or two ago, or previously, where it was just designs all made from red and blue lines,
Right,
and
subtle changes, like the background to Panic at the
right.
Disco was like they just gave us that church window, and then the Green Day
Right.
one had like the fist holding
Just
the
green
heart.
and blue,
It was just
or
it was like,
green
and
and
then
teal.
and the Rocket League
Monster
one
Cat
it was the
logo
car. It
for
was,
Monster Cat.
yeah, it was all very very
Right.
similar background. So it is nice that they're branching out and like and doing this
Yeah,
kind
and
of
I
stuff.
think along with that, more inventive mapping is something you get every time you get a new pack. I think some of the stuff I played on this was really well mapped, really interesting. It makes
agree.
you do certain dance moves that are new to Beat Saber. That's what I always love. Like, you get to know certain patterns, right? You've played enough, and it's like, okay, they're going to throw me the up down, the up down. This is going to go like this, and it's going to go like this. When they come up with something new that makes you move in a certain way, especially with like diagonals and stuff, I really like to see that. So I think the mapping is pretty good on this one. It's one of the harder ones too. On Expert, some of these songs will kick your ass. Like I'm rusty, but I had to play on hard for the most part because it's pretty tough.
I played on Expert Plus, and I liked the mapping. The first 2 or 3, I got like S rank, but they were challenging on the first run, and then like I skipped and went to like one of the later ones, and then I failed it. So it's not they have a similar progression here. Some similarities with what they do is like the first couple songs are usually a little bit easier, and then as you get towards the bottom of the list, they usually get harder and harder. But I totally agree. Some of the moves that I was doing in some of the songs with some of the mapping, this is like Beat Saber at its prime, what it does best.
Yeah.
I did not like the Timbaland one. I know I've said it 1,000 times, but it was
No,
just
it's not
too
so
easy, and and I didn't like the moves. And when Beat Saber has the challenge, and the presentation and like the fun dance moves, that's when it peaks.
Yeah, I mean I really like the Timbaland ones, and
I did too. Yeah, I enjoyed that one.
yeah,
I don't think it's any cheesier than the BTS one. Like,
I really like some of the moves that, and again, I am not an Expert Plus player. Like, I'm still working on a lot of songs on Expert Plus. But when I do the Timbaland stuff on Expert Plus, it is certainly making me do like, all sorts of like crazy things that I'm not used to doing. I was so frustrated during my live stream when I first checked out the BTS pack that I put it down, and I haven't played Beat Saber all week until today when I saw that my PlayStation 5 had updated Beat Saber. And I was like, please God, tell me that this works now. And I jumped in, I played the first 2 songs, and I was like, cool, I played him on Expert, I beat him, everything was fine. And I was like, yeah, it worked. And I was like, but I'm still not haven't recovered from my anger issues.
Yeah.
I'm glad it works. I'm putting this thing down.
I don't know why I streamed it the night before they patched it. That's pretty stupid of me.
Oh, is that, yeah, right, last night I totally forgot.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's working, and I know everybody was mad about it, and rightfully so. You should be mad about this kind of stuff. Like
absolutely.
it seems like every single time Beat Games updates Beat Saber, or we're waiting for an update, they screw it up somehow. Something horribly wrong happens, and whether that just means like it doesn't come out the day it's supposed to, or the multiplayer patch was supposed to. They were saying hopefully on October 13th, and then the next thing we know, hopefully January. I was like, you wouldn't even come fucking close.
Not to be a conspiracy theorist, but AJ and I talked a little bit about this.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
I'm not going to go full on into it, but the idea that because Oculus owns Beat Games, the patches and the updates come a little quicker to Quest, and they're a little bit more well optimized, because I feel like that's probably their main focus, because they're owned by the company that makes the Quest now.
For sure.
So, like, PSVR is still going to get the updates, but they might have some bugs in them. They didn't put as much care and effort into testing before they released it. It's probably going to be a few months later. So I think they are kind of prioritizing Quest, to be totally honest. Because why wouldn't you? Facebook owns them now, so like, why not?
They do seem to drop the ball with every single update. There's always something that goes wrong. There's a bug, which bugs are understandable, but there's like release issues and stuff. The 2 games that are owned by Oculus have been Beat Saber and
Vader Immortal.
Vader
Vader.
Immortal, and
Vader.
both of these games have had some like really. I mean, it is either like they are really prioritizing Oculus like almost on purpose, or these issues are just kind of embarrassing. Like I hate to say it, but these are like
they're embarrassing. Period. No matter how you look at it.
Yeah,
whether it's intentional, whether it's unintentional, whether they're just not putting the time or effort in. No matter how you look at it, it's embarrassing, and they should be embarrassed for this shit.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
breaking the biggest VR game that
Right.
exists every time you patch it. I would get fired if I did anything remotely near what they do when they patch this thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, all right, guys.
And if this
like,
and if this is how Facebook
clean it
treats
up.
things that they supposedly care about, I mean, yeah, that's gonna get me to buy a fucking Quest, right? Yeah, I don't think so. If you can't even get your games running, then the last thing I want to do is buy your headset. Fuck that shit.
Yeah. But anyways, I don't want to go too deep into the.
and I already have one and I like it.
I mean,
Facebook.
I already
Facebook.
I already have an original Quest and I like it. I just never use it. So
It's really nice.
you know,
But
I'm sure
yeah,
the two's
so we know that the multiplayer update is supposed to be coming maybe January. Who knows? But that'll be maybe good. I guess I don't know. On a side note, Yaroslav Beck did tweet out a hint that it looks like he's working on his own music pack again. Looks like we'll be
OST4?
getting a new OST.
That's
I've
so
always,
exciting.
I always like his OSTs.
yeah.
I really, really do. They always come free. And he had a picture of a guitar, and he's like, I don't want to spoil anything, and he had like something that looked like a Schecter guitar, which is the original OSTs usually have some kind of guitar strumming, palm muted electric stuff. So I responded to him. I was like, metal, like I don't know, just for fun and whatnot. But
I mean,
looking forward to that OST.
yeah, I mean, he's a talented composer. Like I'm sure he could
Yeah.
certainly dabble in other genres.
Yeah. But all right, so moving on, Star Wars Squadrons. A while back, I recall a bunch of articles and stuff and word around the internet going, well, there's not going to be any more content for.
Do you know
Star
why?
Wars
Do you know why
Squadrons.
there was all those articles
And I
and
remember
videos were made?
somebody being like, "Hey guys, I think you're jumping the gun a little bit. Maybe don't want to say that."
Do you know
nothing's
why those
coming
articles were
when it-
written? Because
that
EA
was
fucking
official
came out
evidence.
and said, this is a $40 game. We delivered a $40 game. This is the end of it. Don't expect anything else. I mean, gee, I wonder why everyone said it wasn't going to happen.
Well, call me a soothsayer, but
ain't
Star
calling
Wars
you shit.
Squadrons has some DLC. I'm just kidding, man. Star Wars Squadrons has announced some free DLC coming. They have, I guess, 2 updates. They say they're going to be adding a new map. This is Foster Haven. This is the first level in the campaign. One that you actually, we're going to get into the PS5 here in a little bit, but this is a game that you might see some graphical enhancements with dynamic resolution. But Foster Haven, and there's also going to be new components, boost extensions, things like that. That's supposed to be coming this month. There's new weapons, new rockets, new map. And then in December, they're adding 2 new Starfighters. They're adding the B-Wing and the TIE Defender, which is bad ass, man. I cannot wait for this. That is huge news.
Looks awesome. I'm not
Yeah,
bad.
B-Wing, I think, was in Return of the Jedi, I want to say. And then I believe the TIE Defender, that was in... dude, I used to use that in X-Wing versus TIE Fighter. I think
Yeah.
that's isn't that Darth
Oh.
Vader's? Is the TIE Defender
Check.
Darth Vader's?
Check this
I
out.
don't know
We
the
didn't talk
names.
about this yet. It says they're going to have custom matches now.
Yep.
That's
Custom
huge.
matches as
That's
well.
really big because we play a bunch online with people in the Discord. Like to be able to set up our own rooms that are specifically set up the way we want to will be a lot of fun.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
this is the most unexpected news. I was certainly, along with the rest of the internet, been like, okay, well, we got what we got, and what's a shame because what we always praise First Contact Entertainment for is constantly delivering new content for Firewall. Just when you think you might be getting a little bit sick of it, they're like, oh, here's a new map and here's a new contractor. It's like, oh, let's go check this shit out. Like, let's dive back in and learn this new map and have fun. And getting those into the mix is what keeps online multiplayer games fresh. You know, you really can't just be like, here's your 5 maps, see ya. It's not enough. It's not enough. You know, like that gets old fast.
Also, that old adage, under promise and over deliver. You know, like I think that's what they did. They said, hey guys, we're not going to tell you that we're adding anything to this game.
Yeah.
You know, this is what it is. And then if they leak out some info that says, hey, there is going to be more, everyone rejoices. And they're like, oh my God, I didn't think it was even possible. That's so exciting. You know,
I'm wondering, do you think it sold better than they expected?
It probably sold pretty goddamn well. Yeah.
Yeah, it sold well for sure. Also still like really active on the multiplayer side, which is good. The tie advanced is what I was thinking of. Thank you, Mr. Sonic. Where are all the Star Wars fans, man? Are there not more Star Wars fans in here?
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, the TIE Advanced was Darth Vader's. This is the TIE Defender. I don't know what this is. I tried Googling it, and Reddit says I don't even know. All they're saying is that it's canon. I don't know what the TIE Defender was shown in Rogue One. Rogue One is like one of my favorite Star Wars movies, so I don't even remember. But this, Star Wars has amazing lore, so it's always nice to know these things. Although I'm doing a pathetic job at it. Darth Vader's in the chat.
He might have some info.
Yeah,
these guys aren't being helpful at all. I'm reading the chat. It's yeah.
I know. Yeah. They're just like, woohoo! I know, but help us out here.
What a
guys,
bunch of fair weather fans, man. You can't trust any of these fuckers. Homer's Game Cat Arcade says Star Trek is better. All right, so helpful.
Star Trek is better.
Start a war in the chat. I don't know. Star Trek does not have better games or game history than Star Wars. Thank you very much.
Well, I'm not talking about games. And Star Wars has had plenty of stinkers as far as games go, too. It's not all roses.
There has been so many bad Star Trek games, though. Yeah. Oh, God.
Oh, no, Star Trek. They're bad at making movies half the time, and they're bad at making games, but they can make a goddamn TV show, I'll tell you that.
That's true.
What am I going to see here? Okay, good. So do we want to move on to the next one? Talk about Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this update, man. They did this as a thank you. They did say that this was a passion project from the team, that they just love seeing the community support that they've been getting. This game is absolutely fantastic, you guys. It was just on sale recently. Hopefully you've picked it up by now. Yes, there was the Mandalorian update recently. Mm-hmm. I've got the child in my ship unlocked now, little bobblehead baby Yoda, and they gave you 1,200 credits that you can go spend and unlock it, and it's badass, man. I was streaming it, and everybody was just staring. Everybody wasn't even paying attention to me playing; they were just paying attention to the child just bobbing in my on my dashboard. Amazing game, though.
That doesn't say great things about your gameplay,
I'll take it. It's fine. It's a good excuse. And that level that they are adding is one of my favorites, so that's going to be exciting to see. That's really cool.
I've actually been trying to think, are there, so I mean, if this is their strategies, they're like, well, we don't actually have to design new levels to add new multiplayer maps. We can just take stuff from the campaign. I've been trying to think since they announced this earlier today, are there other campaign maps that would work well in multiplayer? I mean, do you think this is something we're going to keep seeing?
If they got the time, and I think if they've got the free time, probably the window is closing for that. I can't think of any other maps I can't think of a lot of other maps. I think if anything, we'll maybe see updates that come alongside the TV shows or stuff like that. I don't think there's any movies coming out anytime soon, obviously, but
I mean, there's like 3 that come out every year, I feel like.
Yeah, if there's a big event or something that happens to coincide with the TV show or something like that, they might do it. Season finales and different things. But
Wonder Rob with the $5 donation says Mandalorian midnight big screen. He's very excited. I'm excited for you. Are you guys getting together tonight? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, we've been doing this. For me, it's 3 a.m., which kind of sucks. It's midnight Pacific time.
Oh, Rob always tags me in the Discord at like 3 a.m. and he tags me in other VR headsets. I'm like, Wonder Rob, I only have a PSVR. Why do you tag me every night? I mean, I love you too, man. I appreciate you thinking of me, but I hope you know I only have a PSVR, man. All right, so real quick, we got a good one coming up. But first, let's get to Dance Collider real quick because I want to make sure people know about this. Dance Collider did get an update adding a hardcore mode, and they did say that they added a. They said that they added, some fixed mapping and stuff. Like they fixed some of the mapping to be on timing. I'm convinced that if that's the case, these guys have no timing at all because I played the first level, first song, and the hits you're doing and stuff are not on beat. So
I mean,
I'm like,
it was never fun to play as a rhythm game. Exactly. I don't think it was okay, but like presentation over
the music and the presentation, right, was okay.
The other thing is this is not like a significant update because this is a mode that was already in the PC version of the game for months before we got it. Yes, they had all.
I don't know about months before, like it came out right before we got the actual game
several months ago, right?
We got the game several months ago, but I'm saying that mode came out was pretty new. That mode was new when we got it on PSVR. When we got the base game on PSVR.
Technically new. It's just something they already had on PC when we got this on PSVR. Right. They're just adding it back in.
Right, and yeah, I never liked this game very much. I'm not a fan of just moving to make sure that I'm in the right place at the right time. It felt like Beats Fever. I didn't think that this game looked terribly 3D. It didn't give me that good sense of depth. I didn't feel like the characters in the background were just being projected up on a flat screen in the background. I didn't feel like they were actually other characters that I was playing against. It just the whole thing seems a little phoned in and kind of like it's a mobile game or something that just didn't pan out.
Yeah.
And then of course, I remember talking about it with you guys on GamesCast and saying
Beats Fever is much better than that. What are you talking about?
I just remember talking about this with you guys on GamesCast, saying I don't feel the rhythm here. Something is very off, and the fact that they weren't able to fix that in this major update means I'm just not interested. I'm not going back.
Yeah, but that's why I wanted to just let people know because they are saying that they've fixed a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, not really. I played the game, and it's just not a rhythm game. Should be precise timing. That I agree with Dave that Beats Fever is much better because it is on time. The timing and stuff is a lot better.
Hey, you guys. Don't worry.
Are you just flying solo?
What's
that? Bail on you too?
AJ's going to get
some water. Are you flying solo?
Yeah. AJ's going to get some water. Cool. We're up and running. We're back. Hopefully everything will get caught up soon here. It's just this is a constant OBS problem. And so if you guys thank you guys for hanging tight and just waiting for the stream to get caught back up and stuff. But this is a constant problem, and until OBS updates, this is just going to keep happening every single week, basically. At a certain point during the stream, OBS decides, I'm just going to crash right now, for no apparent reason.
Well, my favorite part is when it happens 5 minutes before we're done with the show, and we're on the brink of finishing, and then it's oops, sorry.
Yeah. Although I will say it's better that this happens than when Tornado hits the power switch, and just all the lights go dark in my room.
Yeah. Well, people are already. Anytime this happens, they're like, "Oh, Tornado's up to it again." She flipped the switch.
She's a troublemaker, man. She's definitely a troublemaker. So
she's starting to do that thing where cats can tell you're staring at something that isn't them, and they just want to get all in your shit. Yeah. She's like, "Oh, what's on this screen? I want to bother him."
Yeah.
So he looks at me instead of the screen.
Well, here's what I like about the PlayStation 5 over the PlayStation 4. I'll tell you this. When the PlayStation 4 is on, in the top, at the very top kind of left side of the screen, it's got your notifications. And it's sort of almost like a ticker. If the notification's too long, so it just kind of scrolls so you can read the whole thing. She loves that. So she jumps up on the entertainment center and she paws at the ticker.
The movement of the ticker is what she's seeing.
Just the words going by. Nothing else on the screen interests her at all. But when she sees that, she jumps up and she's on her hind legs and she's pawing at it. And so now there are literally paw marks all over my TV from her doing this. And now the PlayStation 5 doesn't have that. And so she looks at that and she's like, "This is boring."
Well, that's pretty nice then.
Yeah.
Protect the TV.
She's like, Brian, what a waste of $500. It doesn't even have the scrolling words.
Nihilist Ryan, the game feline, says OBS, only bad streaming.
Only bad streaming.
That's what it stands for. Good acronym.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, OBS is still the best in the business, and it's the free thing that everybody uses, like literally everybody. But there's
Streamlabs OBS is pretty cool. If you haven't tried the Streamlabs version of it, it's got some fancy features like you can switch scenes with your phone, like with an app. You can just be like, oh, go to the intro, go to the outro, just like tap a little button. Kind of the Stream Deck mentality, from the actual Stream Deck, but.
I need to get Streamlabs up and running, but it's one of those things where like you finally get comfortable
and it works, and you're like, I don't want to fuck with this. Yeah, exactly.
Right, but we do need to switch it up at some
inside
point.
Baseball guys, we're just talking about being streamers, but AJ's back, so we can stop. What's up on the news, AJ? What's next?
All right, we have some amazing news, man. We finally got a release date for Pistol Whip 2089. Let's go. December 1st, man.
Are you convincing? Are you trying to convince yourself to be pumped? You're like, Pistol Whip 2089, let's go.
A giant piece of news.
It seems like you were really working hard to get you.
Are you guys not excited for this?
I mean, it's all right, yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The Heartbreaker update was cool. This will probably be cool.
Dude, no, this is like so much different. This is
it's a whole campaign with linked stages. I get it. I've heard about
new
it.
guns, new
Cyberpunk.
enemies. Yeah,
I wanted Terminator and stuff, and this is like the closest thing. This is like Cyberpunk and Terminator looking. And
AJ, you asked me if I'm not excited, and let me tell you the problem here. Whereas Beat Saber, I want to play Beat Saber every day. Well, until this last week. We'll not talk about this last week anymore. But I want to play Beat Saber every day. I play Pistol Whip, and I play it for like an hour, and then I'm like, that was so much fun. I love this game so much. But when I turn it off, there's something where I go, I'm good. I'm good.
Well,
I just don't need to go back to Pistol Whip like for a while.
More songs in Beat Saber. I think that the skill ceiling feels better to hit. Like, so in Beat Saber, the stuff you pull off on Expert feels more satisfying just intrinsically than the stuff you pull off on the hard level in Pistol Whip.
I guess.
Because, whether it's cool to shoot a guy versus slicing a guy, the kind of dance moves they get you doing and stuff like that on harder levels are always fun. And I think Pistol Whip is missing a little bit of that. And the songs, I think, aren't as memorable either.
That's true.
So that's probably...
And it doesn't mean I don't like Pistol Whip. I obviously love Pistol Whip. I give it a 9 out of 10. Like when I play Pistol Whip, I love it. But there's something in me that I'm not convinced ever that I want to go play Pistol Whip right now. And I don't know what that is. I don't know what that disconnect is. Like, I love it when I play it, but I don't ever want to play it.
I let one of my friends play Pistol Whip, and he nearly punched a hole in this window right here. He just turned away from the TV and just took a swing at my... And you don't even swing in the game. I don't know what he was doing, but...
you do technically. Pistol Whip. You Pistol Whip.
I never do. I always forget. I'm just shooting guys, and I'm like, oh, I can do the thing that the game is named after. I forgot.
Right. I'm going to grab a coffee while you guys discuss.
I mean, look.
Discuss yourselves.
Like, I'm genuinely excited for this because it has this whole, I love action movies, and this, I love the gameplay of Pistol Whip, but it never really offered much more to me than the gameplay. I did like the music, though. The music and the gameplay, and I think that's a big important part. I love the idea. I just love the cyberpunk aesthetic they're going for here. There's like robots crawling at you and stuff. And then I love the fact that there's some kind of story-driven thing going on here.
I wouldn't expect much as far as the story goes from this game. It's not going to be like a story or some shit.
But it's like an action movie story.
Yeah, fair enough.
Just a cheap action, like cheap thrills kind of action movie storyline. And
for quick references there are, because there's bound to be 90 of them. Because they already have the whole guns called the Baba Yaga collection and all this stuff. Like, it's going to be very much aping John Wick, probably, I'm going to assume.
I liked Heartbreaker, but I didn't like it as much as the other stuff, the original stuff that came with the game. I was definitely more excited about that. This just is I'm all about this whole futuristic thing going on here, and the storyline and stuff. The artwork apparently is done by somebody that seems like a pretty esteemed artist. I don't know comic books and stuff. I apologize.
Who's the comic book artist? Some esteemed. I'm sure I know there.
It is. I don't know. They hinted at this before. Hal Ossio.
It's been I haven't been in the comics for so long, man. I remember I used to actually go to the comic store downtown.
Me too,
Just a couple years ago, and I'd be like, I would pick up all the new like Batman and Robin books, the All Stars Batman and Robin, and a few other things, being like, I can't wait to get back in the comics. And the next thing I knew, I had a stack of comics this high that I hadn't read, and I was like, that just sounds like too much work. I'm going to stop collecting comics again.
I'd go in and like, hey man, we got your box ready for you. You've had like 10 things come in over the past 2 weeks. I'm like, I can't buy all those. I haven't read the other ones.
Oh god.
And then they'd start calling me over and over again, like, dude, you need to come pick these things up. It's like, I don't think I'm gonna.
He's a comic artist and co-creator of No One Left to Fight, working on Spider-Man, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Revolutionaries, and Revolution. I don't know his work specifically, but I usually like when there's collabs and stuff. They bring in some talent. Usually, there could be some really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But again, I'm just all about this whole futuristic thing.
Yeah.
This Terminator Cyberpunk kind of mashup vibe I'm getting, and really excited.
It does look different than the other stuff. Like the enemies are different,
Exactly.
and so this
The
this
narrative
looks like,
too, and the voice actor and stuff.
yeah, and these are all like
I
tied
don't
together
have
and stuff.
hopes for that, honestly, but we'll see.
It's free DLC. You gotta love it.
I know, no, it'll be fine. It'll be great. But I mean,
Is it free?
when you bring in,
Yeah.
You know that?
everything's free in this game. Yeah, all the DLC's been free.
Well, I thought they at one point were going to have some paid DLC, but I'll
Not
take
that I've heard of.
Yeah, as far as I know, this is free.
That would definitely be better.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what's up next on our
All right,
list of
So
news, Adrian?
this brings us to what I believe, yes, the main event of the evening. Fighting in the red corner, we have the PS5 post-launch impressions. We are going to go through some of the games that we've seen. That there's 2 games that have had their announcements. There's, Dave, you wanted to mention some stuff about the UI. Brian, I want to hear some of your thoughts about your overall PS5 experience so far, some of the features you discovered, and then we'll get into the games, the nitty gritty of the game. So one of you gentlemen, go ahead, kick it off. We're back into PS5 discussion. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, PS5. So one of my favorite things about playing PSVR on the PS5 is that I didn't expect this, but backwards compatible games get the PS5 UI laid on top of them, which sounds like not a big deal, but in some ways it's actually really cool. My favorite thing is that when you're in a game, notifications don't pop up in your view or anything, and they didn't on the original one. You just hear a ding. But the way it works now is when you end the level or in the stage or go to a loading screen, you'll get a little thing in the corner that says, hey, while you were in VR, you got 3 notifications, and you can just click on them in the headset.
In between rounds of Firewall,
Nice.
I kept seeing Jowsy beating my Astro scores.
So it's a nice quality of life thing there. And then also, when you're streaming, when it works properly, the text doesn't cover up the stream anymore. Because, you guys have seen us stream directly from a PS4. There's always that little comments box that covers everything up. And, even if you're in VR, it's covering up your vision a little bit. For this one, you can choose where to position the comments, and it'll tell you like how many people are watching. So just some really quality of life stuff. But my other favorite thing was due to the new screen sharing and stuff. If somebody goes live or is sharing their screen on a VR game, say I'm playing something flat, I can just put them in a picture-in-picture window and watch them play a game. So like for instance, Drew and Betty in the chat were both doing RE7 the other night, and I said, hey guys, go live on YouTube, let me see how this works. And I just clicked their name, it said they're broadcasting, popped it into picture-in-picture in the corner, and then I was playing Miles Morales watching them play VR. And it was like seamless. Right.
They were
really good stuff. They were in VR, I wasn't. But
you can have multiple picture-in-pictures?
Just one picture-in-picture.
Okay.
I think, maybe at some point they'll update that, but for now it's just one, which is still a really cool feature of the UI in general. I love in party chats on PS5 how easy it is to share your gameplay and see other people's and swap between. And I've always found myself like, say I'll have somebody in the corner playing a game I'm sort of interested in, I want to see what's going on. And then I hit a loading spot or a save point or something, and then I pause my game, switch them to full screen, and hang out and watch them and party chat and then switch back over. So it's a nice way to like be able to hop around and hang out and see what everybody's doing. And if you've just bought a PS5, it's a really good way to see other people's games that you might not have bought yet. So like for me, Demon Souls, I bought because I watched Mitch stream it. And the last thing I'll say about that is the quality is better than watching it on YouTube, which is bonkers to me. Like if I watch somebody playing a game in the corner, it looks better than the YouTube stream of them. I've tested side by side with Drew, and it just looked better on my PS5 than it did on YouTube. So there's some magic behind the scenes there to make all this shit work, but it's pretty nice. And I'm just glad the UI got applied back to PSVR, backwards compatible stuff. I was surprised and delighted to see that.
Yeah,
that's my shtick.
And they make it so easy too. Like when you're in a party chat, all you have to do is you just click a button and say share my screen, and then anybody can bring it up on theirs, and you just click another button. You're like, whose screen do you want to watch? Boom, right there. I was watching Drew play Beat Saber while I was playing Astro's Playroom, and I was also sharing my Astro's Playroom stream so other people could watch me play that. So it was I really enjoyed that. I thought it was like super easy. I liked it a lot. Mustard Custard asks, can you see picture in picture when in VR? Like if you're actually playing a VR game? No, okay,
not yet.
All right.
I mean, they could be laying some groundwork for maybe a PSVR 2 option like that.
I absolutely expect that in the next one. Yeah,
does have an option where you can pin stuff if you're in like the link cable with the Quest. You can pin windows to your permanent vision. So like if I got a YouTube chat section like we got here, I could put that up there, and on the stream you guys can't see it, but I can see it in VR. That would be the ideal way to do that.
I remember PC had that a long time ago too.
I think it would make sense that they would do that on PSVR 2.
But I'm still, even though it's, you can't do it that way, I'm still happy at the fact that if you have a friend that's playing something and you're in VR and you're like, woo, this is awesome, you got to see this, and they can bring it up and see you playing in VR. I think that's pretty cool to be able to show off some of that VR gameplay goodness.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's people out there who have friends who don't have a VR but might be in a party chat with you playing something. And you can just throw it on there and be like, hey, look what this looks like. It's pretty cool.
As a side note, they were on a PS4, right? Or were they on a PS5?
So Betty was on a PS4, Drew was on a PS5. I think it's
so from a PS5, you brought up somebody playing PS4 in VR and could see that. That's
because Betty was playing, but it doesn't work the other way. PS4 players can't do all that fancy stuff that I'm talking
Share
about.
Play was a little rough. It was really rough on PS4.
Yeah,
it was a good concept, but it didn't have a good connection, and it was little definitely. I agree with you guys that some of these features are excellent. I do think some of the basic stuff, like you'd be able to bring up the quick menu. I did like the quick menu before versus having to go bring up the main menu, go navigate to the things. Like if you want to look at your trophies, for instance, you used to be able to just pop up like the quick menu. Go to the trophies right there and look at the list. Now you have to press the button, and it's reversed, so you don't hold it anymore. You press it, bring up the little quick menu, which I think is called the control center now, and you have to go over, scroll to the profile, and then click trophies. Like it's a little bit more cumbersome, but it works. Yeah. Like there's definitely a learning curve to it it's because it's completely different navigation format.
It's a learning curve that I still haven't gotten over. It's like I don't even know what to look for. Like usually when I'm like, how do I do this? I push the PlayStation button, it brings up the cards. They were so proud of their cards when they were first showing off the UI, and I still don't understand. I still don't understand like when I need to go to the cards or when the thing I'm looking for is just an option. It definitely seems cumbersome, like AJ said, and I just wish it was not that cumbersome. I don't know why these cards have to be the way they are. It just seems like random things instead of... It is. It's just random shit that is mostly irrelevant to what you're doing, and it's hard to scroll through and find what you're looking for. Right. And I think, like AJ said... One of the cards will be like the party chat you're in, and another one will be the progress you're making to a certain goal in a level. I'm like, these things are totally unrelated. It was like they were like, well, we want to show all these things off, so let's just put it in a system called cards, and then you have to flip through the things to find what you're looking for. I don't. Or else you have to go to.
One of the cards can be kind of cool though, in that like if you are working on a trophy or something, you literally just click that card and it takes you right there. Versus starting up the game, going to your continue, going to the
used that.
level you were at. You can literally just shoot directly to where you need to go for the level. And then of course, there's the loading screens, load times, which are for PS4 games, even they're halved. I mean, everything is cut in half at least. They are super, super quick with the loading screens. And we've discussed before, when you're in VR, that
it's loading at all.
Yeah.
Miles Morales is just on, and it just plays, and you're like, oh, I died.
Nice.
Boop! It's reloaded the entire game. Like it's really seamless.
But one of the features, like I said, maybe they'll optimize it some more. Maybe they'll get it a little bit more streamlined with the quick menus and stuff.
But maybe I just need to keep using it. I think that's the other thing. I just need to keep using it and be like, okay, eventually I'm just going to get the hang of this and be like, oh, I know that the thing I'm looking for is in the card. Push the button, bam, there it is, done. Oh, good. But I'm not there yet.
Trade-off here, because like some stuff is a little bit harder. Like it takes an extra click or like 2 extra clicks to get there from where you were before.
Right.
So party messages, for instance, like if you're in a party and people are sending messages, you got to go to it, click, scroll down, click messages, and then go to a thing that says view messages. And the default is quick message, which is a useless feature. I think it just says things like, okay, cool, like default preloaded things. But it's like, it's harder to see messages quickly than it was on PS4. But at the same time, the whole thing feels snappier. Like I can navigate more quickly.
It looks cleaner too.
It looks cleaner, and it's more like quick and responsive. So I can get to stuff really quickly. Pop, 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 but it up. And like typing in passwords feels a lot smoother. Like that sort of shit, like typing. Something's just more responsive about the UI, and it feels faster overall.
It's also got the R1 button, like when it's got that something text, predictive text, where like, if you're typing in a sentence or whatever, you can press it. It gives you like a word suggestion, and you can press R1 to just quickly fill in the blanks there, which is nice. With the Move controllers, it's still like, brr, 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 and like tricky and stuff. But one of the features in the profile settings that I absolutely love, and this is what I've been really couldn't have been really excited to share. If you go to the profile on the what is it called, the main menu thing, the control center. When you go to your profile from the control center, and you go to your trophies, every single game has your hours played now. It's got your entire history. That includes PS4 games. So you can actually, any game you've ever wondered how much time you've spent in, you can go to your trophies list, and it's got your hours played for all of them. Now, of course, some of that might...
Shameful facts about yourself. I spent how long playing No Man's Sky?
I've got like 26 hours in Squadrons. This is all stuff. This was one of my features I was looking forward to the most, because I never keep track of how long I've been playing certain games.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's got, it fills in your whole PS4 history as well. Go ahead.
I brought a prop because this is a weird thing to me, but I just bought a Sony TV, which I'm sure I've mentioned. And without me doing anything at all, if the PS5 is turned on, this remote will control the UI of the PS5. So if I'm scrolling around, like finding some app to play on my TV or picking a game, I can do it with this. I didn't set anything up. It's just like, oh, that's a Sony. This is a Sony. And it freaks me out, because sometimes I'll be trying to mess with my TV and it just does shit on the PS5, which is a little bit mind-blowing that it just seamlessly synced up with my new TV. Like, I have a Sony media remote, which they sell for extra here, in front of me, because it just works.
They do have a new Sony remote.
I saw that. I like remotes that feel like real TV remotes. This feels like an actual television remote. A Roku remote is like this big, and it's got 4 buttons on it. Anyways, yeah. Just one of those weird UI things I wasn't expecting, like for my TV remote to control what I was selecting on the PS5.
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Let me make sure. I think I got fact checked here. Let me make sure. So I'm going to the create, the control center, and then I go, maybe it's not trophies. It's not trophies. I apologize. It's not trophies. You go to the control center, you go to your account, you go to profile, and then you scroll over one to games, and then it's got your full list of games there. And that's where it tells you the amount of playtime you have. So apologies. It's not in the trophies. It's again, learning curve. Definitely takes some fiddling around with.
Okay, so apparently I'm an uninformed rube. I'm so backwards, because everybody in the chat is saying, oh, of course, TV remotes can control your PlayStation. That's not specific to Sony TVs. I didn't know this was a thing. So I'm getting my mind blown by something fairly
That has
basic,
kind of,
I guess, but
Sony
never
TV
happened to me before. So.
I mean, my TV, if I switched to a specific input, would turn on my PlayStation 4.
Oh, okay. I never had that.
And that's an option, like in your HDMI settings, HDMI control, something or another in the PlayStation settings. So you can turn that on or off, but you don't want to flip through things and be turning on consoles accidentally.
Yeah, well, I'm just impressed by things that are simple to most folk, I guess.
Well, I want to be impressed by, I feel like the PlayStation 5, there's so many things that I like. There are simple things that I just want back that was so comfortable on PlayStation 4. Like, I don't know, finding a game to play, right? I mean, I don't know how many games, for whatever reason, there's only a certain number of games show up on your main screen, right?
It's like, find them. I got to go to the library and search, and like some of them aren't even installed, and they're put in front of games that I have installed. And I'm like, what is this fucking thing?
Right, like Beat Saber. So there's like I played Beat Saber today, and for whatever reason, it wasn't one of the 8 titles that was there. And I was like, okay, well, let me go look for it. And I went into my library. My library pops up, and it's just a list of games. Like, when I say a list of games, I mean there's no search bar. So I can't just be like, oh, type in BEAT, and then boom, Beat Saber. I have like 600 games in my library.
Yeah. There is a search button though, right? On the top right of the UI, there's a search button. It searches across your games and the store. So if you did type in Beat Saber there, it would bring it up immediately.
Interesting. I did not even think of that.
Yep. It's right next to the gear icon.
So you don't go to your library, you just go straight to the search button.
It's actually faster to do it that way if you're looking for something specific. Yeah. There's your profile icon, the gear icon, and then right next to that is the search.
See, this is one of those things, man, where it's just going to take some time getting used to the new UI, and that will be more helpful. But it's like but it's so weird to bring up your library and there not be a search option there. Like that's the way it's always been. And then when you go to the PlayStation Store, not to just be like jumping all over the place here, but how fucking messed up is the PlayStation Store on PlayStation 5? I can't. It's so impossible just to browse. Be like, I just want to look through a bunch of games. I just want to look through the whole catalog of PSVR games. Like, well, good luck.
There's this weird trend, I think, in UI design towards recently just like letting people have one system-wide search and everything else doesn't have a search in it. So like on my Amazon Fire TV Cube or whatever, when I hit search, it searches every app on the thing at once. It doesn't search Netflix. It doesn't search Amazon. It searches everything at once, and then it launches the app that I want from there. And I think that that's what they're going for here too, where it's just a unified, hey, you want anything, own it or don't own it, put it in the search bar and we'll show it to you, which is in some ways useful, but in some ways more cumbersome than the previous way of doing things. So you win a little, you lose a little.
Yeah, I agree. I like the features because I see some people saying like they like the old UI. It was calm and orderly. I mean, I like the features of this UI and I like the look of it. And I think that's kind of, I do hope they optimize it just a little bit more, but I like the features and the look of it more. And to me, that kind of outweighs the old stuff just a little bit.
I think we'll get there.
There's some cool features like when you tap the button, you get that little menu along the bottom of like all these different things you can mess with. Control center, the fact that you can customize that and add or remove options there as you see fit. Like most people won't do it.
Customize as much as I was hoping, but
I mean, with notifications, you can customize the hell out of it. Like, what do I get notifications for? What don't I? When do they show up and stuff like that?
I will say that you guys, I think we're all part of the PlayStation 5 chat party, right? And and I'm getting notifications for that specifically constantly. Right. So, but the problem is like, I was like, you know what? I don't need to get a notification every time anyone does anything in this party. So let me go to this party and turn notifications off for this. And you can't. You either have to turn notifications off completely or you have to leave them on completely. And I'm like, man, I don't want to leave this party because I don't want people thinking I'm a dick. But like at the same time, my phone is fucking blowing up constantly because I'm in this party with everybody and people are starting voice chats and people are sharing images and people are talking in chat. And it's like ding 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 ding. And I'm like, let me just turn off notifications for this one particular party. And you can't do that yet.
We get it.
No, that was not something you could do in the other one either, I think, right? because I had to pretty much turn off notifications or leave groups.
Dave, it's distracting when you're trying to watch porn.
Fair enough. Well, watch a different non-Sony device, and you're doing yourself a favor.
Another interesting feature that this has, if you go to the settings, this is in a weird spot. There's a resolution and a performance mode, and I spent a lot of time today jumping between the two to see like if there was any difference. And I still feel like it's a little inconclusive evidence here, but it's in a weird place. You know, Brian, we were talking about this before, and you were like, yeah, it's in a weird spot. And yeah, it's because when you go to settings, it says save data and game /app settings.
Right.
So when you think save data, you're thinking of like your game saves, and that's the stuff that's in there. But then in that section is the game presets, and then it has I think I can I share my screen here?
Yeah, go for it.
I can actually. I think you're able to do that.
So I could actually show you what I'm doing here.
Yeah, and I want to after that. Oh, hey, is that showing up? He's a fourth window now. Can you show that on the stream, Brian?
Is it actually showing?
It's on the screen.
You clicked watch stream. Okay.
Oh, I have to click watch stream. Hold on.
Yeah, it takes over the frame too.
So there's actually when you go here to settings, it's here.
Oh, you're already set up to stream. This is wild. Okay, cool.
And you've got.
Let's just watch AJ play PS5 for an hour.
And it's got the save data and game app settings, which is such a weird spot. So this is like your cloud storage stuff. This is like the best way to download your save files. But then it's got this game presets, and then you come here and it's got this performance and resolution mode and game default.
Can you scroll up real quick? You can set your default difficulty level and
Yep.
What?
And yeah,
first
that
person,
is
third
wild.
person. Yeah.
No, that is wild, man.
I'm gonna keep that on hardest.
But I think this is one of these things that they tout as like, oh, look how cool this is. But then it's like no one ever uses it. All these developers.
I mean, I feel like in Doom you probably will get automatically, whatever. Like I don't know.
For me, it is kind
Some
of a
games
game by game basis, so it's different. But yeah, like you can change it. All these settings. When a PS5 game starts, all these settings will be automatically checked. Subtitles and stuff. If you like subtitles, they'll already be enabled. If you like the hardest difficulty, it'll already be set to the hardest difficulty. Here's a fun trick. Go to your friend's new PS5 and without them looking, like when they go to the bathroom, set the difficulty to hardest, and they probably won't notice because the game will just default to it. And then in terms of, so when you tap the PS button, this is what's called the control center, and like there is like some VR customization here. Actually, if you press options, there's like a bunch of stuff here. But there's the VR customization, screen size. I've got it set to largest. I've got most of this stuff already good to go. But then when you come here to the profile, this is what I was talking about. You go to profile, you come here to games, and you scroll down, and this is where it has your hours. See, it says Dance Collider 17 hours. Beat Saber 529 hours. Now, some of this is not completely accurate because I am definitely guilty of sometimes leaving my PlayStation on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And so I'm sure I have at least like a couple hundred hours in Beat Saber, but not 529. Now, this one, funny thing about Firewall is this is actually probably pretty accurate. I probably have about 365. Blood and Truth is probably pretty accurate, about 23 hours. Dreams, close to accurate. I have a couple hundred hours, but I don't have 536 hours to get the platinum in Astro's Playroom. And one thing that's interesting about this platinum, this is something I wanted to mention. When they showed, when you get this platinum, it says, found all trophies in Astro's Playroom. See you in our next adventure.
You know what's cool, actually?
Oh my God, they're going to make another game?
Trophies like this. Oh, wow.
Shocking.
Trophies like this are funny because like usually that one that's ultra rare doesn't have 5% of people that have it. It's like less than 1% or something. So that means people are actually playing the shit out of Astro's Playroom and platinum, actually getting it.
I have 33 hours of Dread Halls. You guys are the fucking worst.
You guys suck. All right, so while we have AJ's stream up here, can you still see mine? Because I wanted to show off the new PS5 app because the UI there is entirely redesigned too. And it kind of matches with the PS5 in a certain way. So I'll show my phone.
Just a heads up, all these
useless.
windows are really small, and so I mean, I
Okay.
appreciate AJ sharing his screen, but it was really small on the stream.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. Well, then this will probably be useless as well. But
Bigger in real life.
you can't see this, but it's the new PS app on your phone, and it does some cool stuff. It's redesigned entirely, a lot more streamlined, a lot more easy to use. Because the old PS app was clunky and not very good. And now, like, if you start installing a game, you'll get a notification on your phone when it's ready to play, which is a nice little feature. Like, I was installing Demon Souls, my phone went, boop, you can play it. And so I popped over there and played it. Like you said, you do get a lot of notifications, and they're pretty goddamn loud, to be honest. Like, I don't know. But I do like the redesign of the app. It works pretty well to go along with the new PS5 UI.
The app works. The app integration is very good. I was actually able to just like launch Blood and Truth from my phone and stuff. Somehow that was actually easier. I don't remember what I was in the middle of, but I was doing something, and it was easier just to pull up my phone and just tap Blood and Truth and launch, and it just started. It was nice. So there's some pretty slick features here that are pretty nice. But speaking of features, guys, Blood and Truth was the first game to announce getting a PS5 enhancement patch. We talked about this before. It got a resolution update. It got up to 90 frames per second. And the highest detail assets possible. That's Brian's favorite. Did you guys obviously? I know Brian and I have played it. Dave, did you get a chance to play this?
I didn't actually, but I did see your guys' breakdown side-by-side videos to kind of watch and see. I did play Dreams, and we'll talk about that later. That's the one that really seemed notable to me, or noticeable. But
I think the most notable part of this patch, and again, I'm hoping that in the future they have a software development update for the kit, an update for the software development kits for PS5, which should be going out to developers here pretty soon, if not already have them. And I'm hoping they can actually apply some PS5 patches rather than having to do this workaround of going in and unlocking or increasing the frame rate and stuff like that for the PS4 version. I'm hoping we get something that can actually apply an actual update at some point to the PS5, take full advantage of the hardware. To me, the frame rate is most noticeable here, but I will say when I was showing that, when I was talking about the performance and resolution mode, I've just been leaving on resolution mode. I've found that to be my preference. It's, if anything, I jumped back and forth. It was really honestly hard to tell, but if there is a difference, it is like so slight. It is like some of the stuff in the distance maybe just isn't like as blurry. But I feel like in VR, every pixel kind of matters or can potentially matter.
Yeah, I don't think I agree that every pixel matters.
you're usually too busy looking around and doing stuff to care about each pixel. I
think graphically, I didn't see any difference whatsoever in Blood and Truth. It did feel like it could have been smoother with the better frame rate. And right. I think
absolutely, the frame rate was definitely there.
And I think that's like going to be the benefit there. But again, this is one of those things that it's like if no one told me it got updated, I never would have noticed. Never would have known. I played it back to back. I played PlayStation 4 Pro, and then I went to PlayStation 5 back to back, and I was like, nope.
I did as well, and I tend to notice it more in certain scenes. Like, it wasn't all throughout the whole game noticeable. It was in certain spots, certain assets, certain areas that I was able to notice it.
Yeah, and that's what these things are. You know, we're going to talk about Firewall. It's going to be the exact same story where it's like,
pretty much.
In this level, it kind of looks better, and then this scene in Blood and Truth, it kind of looks better. I'm just like, I'm like, in my book, if it's not getting like this overhaul where it's just noticeable constantly, then I'm like, hopefully you guys didn't spend too much work making this happen, because like it's not noticeable.
Yeah, and I've seen people on Reddit with a little bit of they took one too many placebo pills and they're convinced that it's incredible and it's a big deal. And with Blood and Truth, it's really not. It's from what I've seen, from what I've heard from you guys, it doesn't seem like it's that big of an upgrade.
No, it's not as good as a proper patch, and that move and the load times, of course, are much better. Especially, I mean, but even with Blood and Truth, right away from the main menu with those sparks and those bullets kind of flying by you, that frame rate really helps with that stuff. The stuff that's moving a little bit faster is just it has a little bit more clarity to it and smoothness to it, and I think it's a nice little subtle upgrade. It is just very, very tiny though. But so that brings us to Firewall, which I think was again same story here. Way faster load times. When it comes to graphics, I actually jumped into Firewall at first. Big shout out to Ash454 who just joined in the chat, who I played with. Same with my boy Killatrix. Had a blast with you guys, and I jumped into Firewall at first, and I was like, "Is this a joke?" Because
I have a text from you that says, "Is this a joke?"
Yeah,
not kidding.
Can you show it live on stream?
I think to quote me, it was, "Is this a fucking joke?" I think I said.
I would show it, but then there'd be probably dick pics and stuff as well. I mean, the number of things
we share everything here without Parole. We share everything.
We let it all out. Right. But I was like almost insulted because honestly, I saw the trailer thing with Frank on it. And he's like, "Oh yeah, oh this is so beautiful."
I mean, come on, it's
and I was like, and I was excited. Like it kind of fooled me a little bit, but then as I played more, I did start to notice certain assets, certain things that did look better, and it looked really good at times even. But it's weird how they do that game because it was like some stuff it's weird to me that some levels look better and some look just the same. The older ones in particular look exactly the same.
I just played public, so I didn't get to choose levels and see, because I know in private you can select and kind of go through one by one and check what you want to see. But I didn't notice really any fidelity upgrades for the most part. The only thing that struck me when I first loaded it up was in the menu screen, the lobby or whatever. Turning your head quickly left and right is a little less latency, a little more snappy. It felt like there was smoother about it. Like just the act of like looking around felt more responsive. And I don't know if that makes sense, but you do notice in a game at some level if there's a little bit of latency when you're turning your head back and forth, or if the game's struggling to catch up with you when you make a sharp turn with your head, right? That didn't happen now. I didn't notice any real resolution upgrade or anything, but it seemed a little snappier, I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I only checked out 2 stages. I checked out District and in the office building, and I mean literally identical. I didn't get a sense that the frame rate was any faster, that there was less latency, that anything looked better. The one thing I will say is that I think colors felt like they popped a little bit more.
I noticed that too. Yep.
And that was interesting because I feel like I'm seeing that in a lot of VR games.
Close, like you said too.
But just the colors in general, like I feel like they're more vibrant, more saturated, and again, I keep having to second guess myself. I'm like, is this a placebo effect, or am I actually And I really do think that the colors do seem to pop a little bit more when you play games on PlayStation 5. But other than that, I mean, literally zero difference in Firewall. And I know that some people are going crazy over is it the containment level? Is that the one people are talking about today? I haven't compared that side by side, so I don't know. But again, it would be really strange if containment looked way better.
It's just all white walls and stuff. Who cares? How do you? I mean, that's easy to improve, I guess.
But District is going to be.
I feel like it has an effect on some of the lighting sometimes, and the lighting makes a big difference to me. Sure. And so I feel like that's where things kind of stick out more than others, and that's what I noticed the most in the game. Containment looked a little bit better. The hotel is probably one of the only original levels that I noticed. Looked a little cleaner, looked a little nicer. But again, it's just like certain things. Like it doesn't even apply to every asset that they have. Mm-hmm. But that's Hangar. Hangar looks like so much better. The first time I played Hangar, it was like, it's weird how Firewall First Contact has always done this, because there's been levels that look that they would release. They'd release new levels. Containment looked great from day one, but when Hangar first released, like that whole airplane and stuff was like it had like major jaggies and like screen tearing and blurriness all over it. And all that, like it is actually like one of the best looking levels now. So it's really interesting how it's affected. And it doesn't seem like it's like, oh, you just paste this file over the whole game. It feels like some levels have been rendered a little bit differently.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy.
Yeah, I didn't notice it yet, but I am going to have to go back through and do like a private match where we can check each level out one by one, because I didn't notice anything, to be honest. And when I was talking about the reduced latency and stuff, I made a point to say that was in the lobby. I didn't notice that in the game. Gotcha. It was mostly just when I was standing around in the lobby, everything seemed a little more, I don't know, snappy is the word I keep using. It describes how it felt. Snappier.
So this brings us to the two games that you will actually right out the gate, better than any of these little PS4 unlocking patches. And that brings us to the discussion of dynamic resolution.
Hey, Minecraft.
Dynamic resolution, starting with Dreams, man. This is a huge difference. I mean, Dreams is designed because it can be anything. It can be a small experience. It can be a large experience. Because of what Dreams is, it really benefits from the PS5. And there's a lot of games that I feel like, people made stuff like Silver Slumber that Dave tried to get me to play before. Tiny Quest, which a bunch of people tried to get me to play before. And these used like kind of like small little assets on the screen. And it would be like, even on a pro, it was too blurry. Now, people always say, why aren't you comparing it to an OG? Dude, if you're on an OG, from what I've heard, you're going to get booted out of VR from trying to play any of these. It won't even run, or won't even look good at all. But on a pro, these were like functional. They just looked kind of blurry. But the way the the PS5 has handled some of these, wow, man. Tiny Quest, I beat it last night for the first time.
So good.
I absolutely loved it. Silver Slumber, I started, and I'm like, the environments, they look pretty stunning at times and stuff. And there's just a couple other games, Roadstar, where I'm driving through this Grand Canyon. I did play these on a PS4 right before playing a PS5. Dreams is by far the game that has the biggest impact from the PS5 right out the gate. And it is a big difference.
Well, and also creators are saying the same thing too. People who have the PS5 are saying, wow, my thermo levels have gone way down. I can do a lot more here and get away with it. Now, obviously, if you create something like that and try to send it to a PS4 OG, it'll probably, like you said, kill the thing. You'll have to go back to flat screen mode or whatever. It's an exciting thing because this is like the first game where everything's unlocked. It's able to take full control of the system and say the resolution is going to be as high as it can be, the frame rate's going to be as high as it can be, and that's pretty unique to Dreams. And I have to wonder if they designed it with PS5 in mind, thinking about that.
Probably some,
or maybe it's just a matter of like you have variable intensity games, and some are going to be really taxing, some aren't. But you got to let people play all of them. So,
Custard says, doesn't that just tell us that Dreams was super blurry on release? No, because not everything. There was some stuff. I remember telling Brian when we first got our hands on the PSVR update in Dreams. I remember Brian literally saying to me, "Do you remember what you said to me, Brian, when you played Ride of Altopolis?"
Altopolis,
yeah,
Ride at Altopolis.
Well, I remember you saying this is what PlayStation 5 VR games are going to look like.
No, that was you. You were. No. I was like, yeah, that was no.
Did I say that?
Play it. We've got an unreliable narrator. Maybe
I don't even know whose dick pics is whose anymore. So
I was like, play this and call me back. And you called me back, and you were like, yeah. So PS5 looks really good.
Oh, that's right. I do remember that now. Yeah. No, Rise of Autopolis was one. I mean, so many games on the Pro, and I get it. The OG. So blurry, so many cats were like, this is too blurry, it's like unplayable. And I was like, okay, I get it. But man, on the Pro, Dreams looks amazing, and so many games on
Oh man,
so many user created dreams looked amazing from the get go. And and so some things were a little bit blurry, but you know what? PlayStation VR, the big ones, like the actual made by actual development studio games that were released on the PlayStation Store that we bought, some of those are really blurry too. And Dreams actually looked a lot better on the Pro than most of those, like in terms of resolution. I was telling AJ, I was like, man, I can't wait to find some of these hidden gems, like some of these games that we played on PlayStation 4 VR. Maybe some of them, and I kept referring to Blind Spot because I was like, Blind Spot is such a fun escape room style puzzle game, right. and there's so much detail in the environments, but it's really blurry. And so I was like, there's got to be games like this out there that PlayStation 5 is just going to take care of. Like who knows what games have dynamic resolution, which ones don't.
I feel like we need a Reggie or an Alvo or somebody in here to ask, like, how hard is it to unlock your resolution for a game that's already been released? Tiffany, yeah.
Tiffany,
if you game devs in the chat, I know
anything about this, let us know, please.
So I'm gonna place a bet here while we wait to hear from any developers, if there's anybody around who's willing to answer this, or anybody who knows. My bet is going to be that you have to develop your game from the ground up to be able to do these kind of things.
It seems like a ground up redesign to make it have an unlocked frame rate. That, like, so many programming decisions in the game rely on something like that. You know what I mean? Like, to determine how to render stuff. I'm just guessing, but it seems like it would.
Dreams taught me so much. Dreams taught me how important lighting was first and foremost, and it also told me that, holy shit, all these games that we've gotten that have had resolution problems, this wasn't necessarily the headset. This was either the
we
PS4.
Always do that, though.
This was either the PS4. Well, but there wasn't a lot of examples because every time a game would really push the hardware, the blurrier it would get, right? Like No Man's Sky, for example.
Well, but I think the best examples of stuff like that are like Job Sim or Vacation Sim, or games that are really crisp, really super crisp and look perfect 1080p because they're simplified.
Right.
And you can see the concept of like, oh, this is what really clear graphics look like on this thing.
But Dreams was like, it was like detailed stuff that was clear, and that's what really blew my mind.
Missing Constellation, some of these ones are like
really good,
even like really small scale stuff like Tiny Quest. Just the level of detail is really cool.
We're gonna give a shout out to Genetic Blasphemy with the $20 donation. Directly says to AJ, I know you don't care much for the M cable, but I still use it on the PS5 because there's noticeable pop to all colors, brightness, and contrast that I miss without it. Cumbersome and pricey, but I love it. Great stream.
All right.
Dude, so JD Max, the sim racing cat, at some point, I like against my will, sent me an M cable. Like, this was like a year or 2 years ago or something. It's still sitting in a box around here somewhere. I was looking for it. I'm like, because it is cumbersome. But there are a bunch of people that swear by it and say that it actually does improve the resolution and stuff like that. And so if that's something you guys are, interested in, like, Genetic Blasphemy will apparently going to bat for that for you. I'm not interested in hooking up extra things to an already unwieldy mess of cables.
I didn't have an actual M cable. I had like a cheaper version of it. I don't even remember what it was called, and it was the biggest pain in the ass. It was good on my OG when I had the OG and I wanted to play some like Skyrim or something really blurry. But when I got a Pro, it made some Pro games actually look worse. Like, it's like a TV, man. If you overdo it with all the settings and put them on the highest settings possible, you actually end up ruining the picture versus making, just because you max out every setting to the fullest, doesn't mean it's going to look the best. You might actually mess it up that way. So I had to, but I never actually had an actual M cable, but thank you.
Dude, so yes, thank you, by the way, for the donation. We really, really appreciate that. Going to keep the channel running. You guys are the best. Love you all. Dreams, I was shocked. So I did the Dream stream. But actually, the only thing I did when I was doing my comparison videos, I was like, I'm just going to jump into one Dream, grab video from PS4 Pro and then one from the PlayStation 5, put those side by side, and it was Sandora Bros and S. Doran's Tectonic. And I was like, man, this is a lot clearer. This is wonderful.
Yeah.
Great. And I put that in the video and sent it off. And then I did a dream stream the day before yesterday, right? And I just went through all of these different dreams. And holy fucking shit, this game is clear, right?
Every single one I tried, just
so many
immediate upgrade.
Even if the ones that really, and that's more just the way they were optimized and stuff, they still are majorly improved. But the majority, that's just ones that where they threw in a little bit too much stuff. That
you mentioned Tiny Quest from
the one that I. Okay, go ahead.
And Tiny Quest, I loved that game. And AJ was like, "Oh man, you said how great this game was, but it's too blurry for me to play.
Unplayably blurry. I didn't play it either."
But see, I was like, I'm gonna put up with the blur because I think this is so good. It reminded me a lot of Spelunker on NES and C64 back in the day. And I was like, this is great. I love this, and I put up with the blur. But holy crap, man! Going back and playing and seeing that it was crystal crystal fucking clear. I was like, if I had any regrets about buying the PlayStation 5 for VR games, suddenly that's all put to rest with Dreams, because this is where I'm going to be spending most of my time with stuff anyway. I'm still trying to get the handle down on the creation tools, and I still want to make a game in Dreams. And now that I've seen just how good things can look on the PlayStation 5, I'm there, man. It's like my new home. I love it.
Garenchik says games will generally improve on frame rate going from the PS4 to the PS5, which we've seen. We assume that they'd be running at the max frame rate, and what developers have been doing is they've been increasing the cap so that they can run up to, let's say if they were at 60, now they can run up to 90 frames per second. That's what we saw Blood and Truth do. But she does say frame rate or resolution is another matter entirely. I'm curious to see, like, even I know it's much more complicated than just, can you just add a few numbers to the cap of the resolution? It sounds like
the guy in the basement flip the switch or whatever.
It's completely. It sounds like it's not like just increasing a little number there. But I am curious to see if developers are able to add dynamic resolution like this, because this has been the biggest jump that I've seen so far, much bigger. And that goes for Squadrons as well, which we'll get into. But Dreams, it is just wow. The difference is staggering. It is crazy different. A huge jump with no patch necessary, just how the game was designed. And it seems like games with dynamic resolution is a really good solution moving forward for VR games.
Yeah, it's just that there's so few. I mean, I think Dreams is like the exception that proves the rule that games can be better on PS5.
Right.
But it is just an exception.
And I know you guys, I don't know if either of you guys spent any time with Minecraft on PS5.
I haven't. No, I have not yet.
I mean, just
I heard it was broken. Somebody said it was broken.
Yeah, I heard that too. I played it. I played it at the PlayStation 5 launch. I played it just a couple days ago for that last comparison video. It works perfectly. I haven't had any problem with it, so I don't know when it broke for people, but it is. It looks great. It absolutely looks great. It looks sharper than before. It runs smoother than before. There's no drop frames when you're running around. It doesn't matter how much is going on the screen. There's just like a nice something about it. It just looks slicker, and I guess that's probably an increased resolution. But man, very impressive. So I mean, add Minecraft to the list. When you talk about substantial updates to games, Minecraft is definitely there.
Yeah, I just want to say something real quick too. Andrew C says, "Don't need dynamic resolution. I'm sure the PS5 can pump 1080p to the headset easily. It's not about what the PS5 can do; it's about how the software is programmed.
Right.
So the power of the PS5 has literally nothing to do with what you get out of it on the PSVR 1.
Otherwise, playing a 2000s PC game
it does have something
to 4K.
Yeah, exactly. So the developer has to put some time and effort into either baking this in from the beginning or going back and editing it, which is rare so far. So it's not just like, oh, it's better, it'll run everything at 1080p. Like, that's not how the hardware and software.
It'll run it at the best it can.
Which is, the same.
Which is limited to what the PS4 is.
Exactly.
Is smooth. So it just.
He said he was being sarcastic. Never mind. All right, sorry.
Okay.
Well, it's worth noting if people weren't being sarcastic.
But I'll be honest, after playing Dreams, it is definitely like I go back to other games and I'm like, I don't remember these games being this blurry. Like, I don't remember these games being this fuzzy and stuff. Dreams is like a great example of just how crystal clear the headset can get at its best.
Yeah.
And yeah, because honestly, like I said, I went back to Firewall and I was like, it's like, this doesn't look like as clear as I remembered it. Like when I was playing Firewall for the first time, it was mind blowing. I was like, these graphics look amazing, like AAA. And then, you know, after playing some of these other games, Dreams and Squadrons, I go back to Firewall and I'm like, why is this box kind of blurry? And why is this kind of blurry here and there?
Yeah, I mean, you know, they're smaller games, but there are games in Dreams that are as crisp and look as good as Astrobot.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Like really detailed too, though.
That Race Through the Meridian Forest or whatever it is. You guys
I played that. Oh, I played it on PS5.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Oh my God.
Game,
it is so it's like slightly, I mean, it already looked like perfect, but it is slightly better on PS5, and then it's just like, holy shit, how could this even look any better?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'll have to check that one out again because that looks great on PS4 Pro.
So Squadrons is the other game. Or Squadrons, there's especially of people on the OG PS4. I remember hearing a lot of people saying they were disappointed with the graphics on the OG. I thought it looked really good for the most part on a Pro. But there was stuff like this first level that that's being added. I forget what it was called, but the first level had this like place you fly around. There was like turrets sticking up, and there was like a lack of resolution there for some
really
reason.
muddy.
Yeah, and this with using the dynamic resolution stuff, it was like you fly. First thing you notice is the hangar, right? I mean, I knew right away as soon as I got in the hangar, I was like, I think this looks better. Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
Because the easiest way to tell is the people running in the background and stuff, like they're all clear.
There's usually like a fuzziness around like the edge of their body, you know, like this like weird like artifacting and stuff, or you know, almost like an anti-aliasing effect that went crazy, like a blur around.
Right.
And now it's crisp.
It's super crisp, and you know, there are little hit or miss spots here and there, but like once it renders and once it really pushes as far as it can go, I mean, the effect that it has is crazy. Not only like, you know, that's why these graphics are important, man. That's why when it comes to the PS5 games, PS4 games, getting the most out of the graphics is important because you don't realize the slightest bit of resolution bump and stuff, how much that affects these games. At least these are not slight by any means. This dynamic resolution is no joke. It makes the levels, the depth, when you can actually tell the distance, when it affects like you being able to tell the distance and scale and scope of the levels and stuff like that, it makes such a huge difference. It's crazy. More detail.
Yeah. No, I mean it was definitely impressive. That was the first place I went to check out was that first stage, because that's the thing everybody seems to complain about. A lot of people who complain about the graphics, even on the Pro, were like, "Oh, I haven't even done any multiplayer yet. I just played the first couple of stages in the campaign." I'm like, "That's why," because the multiplayer stuff looks fine, you know.
Oh yeah.
But that for some reason, that first stage, I don't know if because the set piece was just so big or something, and it's like there was just like too much going on. But yeah, it was all muddy. And just going back in, and it's tough to even compare on the social screen because I put the two images side by side on my comparison video, and I'm looking at it in Premiere going, is anyone going to be able to tell the difference? Like when I put these things side by side, and you can a little bit, but like I really just had to like go full force with the narration on that and say, in the headset, man, it's like way clearer because because man, the TV screen is never really indicative of what you see in the headset.
Oh no, yeah.
A lot of times it's better, and then in this case, it like didn't actually look that much different. But when you're actually in the headset, it's significantly better.
Brian knows I wasted so many hours capturing Dreams and Squadrons side by side footage, and from the PS4 and then the PS5. And it just sucks that I can't demonstrate it to you guys because the social screen output and the Elgato capture card software, it gets rid of all that blur that I'm seeing in the headset, and it makes the images look really similar. But the truth is, it is a stark difference.
Even blind spot looks pretty sharp on that social screen. Yeah. Well, I mean, even No Man's Sky.
This episode has had too many blind spot references.
I like blind spot.
Yeah. So real quick, somebody in the chat is asking Snacks Snacks M Please, Snacks MPLS says, "Are you guys having that stuttering issues that comes and goes?" That happens on PS5 and PS4.
Oh,
it's
on
not
Squadrons.
unique to where the screen judders a little bit. It didn't get removed in this PS5 version. It's still like that.
I haven't moved my camera down. It doesn't happen to me when I'm flying. It happens to me when I'm in the menus and the hangar and stuff.
The hangar especially is like the worst.
Yeah.
I will say it does happen to me when I'm flying. I did check that out. It did still happen when I was flying. But I think it's one of those things that like you're paying when you're looking for it, you're gonna see it all the time. But when you're flying, you're like you're twisting and turning and flipping.
Yeah,
and
if you're in a dogfight, it's the last thing you notice in
you
a
definitely don't
because
notice
you're trying to kill somebody and just like.
Right, but if you're standing in the hangar having a conversation with somebody and the thing's going, you're definitely gonna notice it there.
Do you have your camera up, Brian? Because I typically don't have any issues like this when my camera is below my.
I don't move my camera. Fucking developers got to get on board with this shit, man. It's like we're all putting our cameras in the same place.
This is a Sony PlayStation tracking thing here. This is not a. This is the angle trying to. This is just a problem with the hardware.
Yeah, I don't move my camera
unless it happens on the PC side too. But
yeah, someone just said it's on the PC too.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. Interesting.
PC too.
Yeah. Well, then I take that back. I stand corrected. This is a developer issue. But
get on board, developers.
I know some games like Moss.
What are you doing, EA?
I remember stuff like Moss and stuff. I would have to put the camera whenever I'm sitting down. Camera goes under the TV, and that's just how it always goes.
With the DualShock, I know that like I either have to be standing up, which I don't. Right. When I play with DualShock games, I might want to be sitting down. Right. If I'm playing a move game, I want to be standing up for the most part. And so
there's only one DualShock game I've ever played standing.
Well, don't leave us hanging. What was it?
Detached.
Oh yeah, same.
Okay, fair enough.
Wait, did that not have move controls?
Nope.
Really?
I know. Crazy, right?
How would you have played it with move controls?
Detached? I totally remember that game having move controls, and I'm remembering obviously incorrectly. But that is so crazy that
Horror Station has move. Maybe is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, Horror Station definitely has
Spiral because those get thrown into. In my mind, those get mixed up sometimes.
I know, but like that is, I'm fucking mind blown right now. Because if you asked me if you bet me a pizza, I would have absolutely put 10 pizzas.
Last time I went to play it, I had the moves ready, and I was like, "Oh shit, I forgot." Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Okay, well, I mean, I'm a unreliable narrator. I apologize.
Well, I accused that's both of being unreliable narrators earlier, so I think there's plenty to go around.
To summarize it up, man, Dreams and Squadrons. Dreams is by far, I'd say from first to fourth, I'd say Dreams number 1, Squadrons number 2, Blood and Truth number 3, Firewall number 4 in terms of graphical.
Just a heads up, Minecraft is number 3.
Oh yeah, I haven't played Minecraft yet, so I don't know. But you seemed pretty, you seem like you tested it pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, stuff. I did. I'm really high on Minecraft because it certainly had frame rate dips and stuff in different situations, and then there were certain times where like, it was great testing. It was great testing it in Belramio's world because I was able to use that roller coaster in his world to test loading screens, because there are certainly times where like everything just freezes on the PlayStation 4 Pro to load in the next section of the map, and there would be times like in one section of the roller coaster where it would freeze, and then you go 2 feet and it would freeze again. You go 2 feet and it would freeze again, and then boom, you're good to go. And on PlayStation 5, boom, smooth sailing, didn't freeze once.
Nice, very good. I'm curious too because I played a few that were like purchased ones, like the Jurassic World DLC or whatever. The park is so massive with so much shit going on that in VR it ran like terribly, really chugging along, really poor performance. So I have to assume, the same thing will be true in those worlds that that you pay extra for or whatever. I hope at least.
That loading thing that you showed off, Brian, the one that you just mentioned, that seemed like a big deal to me. I was like, whoa. I can't even believe it like stopped like that. Like that is crazy.
Right.
So yeah. But yeah, man, that is it for now. That's all we got. We got our top 25 that came out earlier.
Thank God.
Make sure you guys go check that out. Thank you.
That was weighing so heavy, man. That was weighing on me so heavy. I was like, oh, when am I going to find the time to do this? And I just finally sucked it up and was like, I'm doing it right now.
And then, of course, I sent him the voiceovers like as he was editing the final project.
It's 3 weeks late.
Yeah.
Dave is getting voiceovers to me
Yeah,
last
I had a
minute.
PS5. You know what am I going to do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do? I mean, come on. Come on.
Come on.
All right, guys. This
Holy
is.
graphics.
I think this is probably gonna do it for another episode of not viewer takeover. But by the way, I do apologize for no viewer takeover this week. That was all my fault. Also, actually, another OBS problem, but we'll talk about that some other time.
Yeah, I think it was a human error, but we'll see.
I looked it up. It was a human error, but it was a reported OBS problem that human error should not have. You know what? Inside baseball.
Humans make errors.
Yeah, we just know that we blame you personally.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. I fall on the sword constantly around here. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out. Everybody in the chat, we really, really appreciate you guys hanging out. And congratulations again to all of our friends on the other side of the world or all over the world who now have their PlayStation 5s. And good luck to everybody who's still trying to get theirs. I have faith that you'll be able to get one. Please don't pay the scalpers. That's so much money.
Yeah,
don't
come
do
on.
it, man.
You can wait for it, especially if you're a VR person. You can wait a little bit.
Yeah, and even if you're not, man, I didn't talk about bug snacks or anything else today. But honestly, like you can, in my book, I think you can certainly wait, even if you're playing non-VR games. PlayStation 5's got a few kinks to work out, but I think we're off to a great start for this next generation.
And you can still play Spider-Man Miles Morales on a PS4, which is my favorite one so far, honestly. Demon Souls is great, but you can still play that if you got a PS4.
I got this one, Deathly, the Death Cat, PSN, Deathly, 86. Ooh, with the Canadian $15 donation. Says, awesome stream, guys. I look forward to Thursday for this.
I feel like I want some Angel Crypt in the background to soundtrack. Awesome stream, guys.
Guys, remember to subscribe to Dave at Dave Station VR. Remember to subscribe to AJ over at the Underground, PSVR Underground. Appreciate every single person who donated tonight. Really appreciate you guys keeping the channel running. It is, you guys don't even know. I try not to make a big deal about the whole financial side of things, but it really makes a huge impact. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's part of the chat tonight. And thank you, of course, to all those people out there who didn't say a word, sat back, just watched the show. We don't even know you exist. But you know what? We know you're out there, and we love every one of you. Also, thank you to the moderators that keep the show running nice and smooth. That's it. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, AJ. Thank you, Cats. My name's Brian. This was PSVR GamesCast Live. You know, let's cue the cat.
And we're out. Oh, okay.
Cue the
I thought
cat.
we said we're out. Okay, cue the cat.
Cue the cat, because I want to say goodbye and happy PS5 launch, everybody.
Happy PS5.
Steve, Irie, thank you. Later, people, stay safe. You too, my friend. Hack the Game Cat went from an OG to a PS5. Woohoo! Mustard Custard, Mr. Musicali, Gamer Chick 13, the Diet Pepsi Cat. Kyson fist bump to you. That space shooter game, the Game Cat. Thank you so much, Dan Kiefer, David as my speech chat likes to say, David Snack MPLS. Thank you, man. Creeper Betty, Plo 617. Thank you. I hope Elite Dangerous as well. SB Genetic Blasphemy, Clinton Moore. I'm waiting for Ubisoft to update Raised from the Dead. Raised from the Dead?
I don't know.
Raised from the Dead.
Right.
You got Cole.
your boy.
Elaine Calhedo. Hello to Brazil. Thank you for joining. Elvert. You should play Pixel Rip. They're all from Brazil. I don't know what that means, but anyways, Magic the Game Cat. I was hoping there'd be like some Brazilian references in there, but no, there's not. Elvert the Speedrun Demon, Magic the Game Cat. Thank you. Don't thank everyone. Thank you. Johnny Rye Pop the Stray Cat.
Gamer says you have to stay online until the $15 Canadian runs out. Actually, Tiffany, that'll only buy you one Diet Pepsi. So, I don't know. We'll be fine.
Twitcher, the single player game cat. Gabriel 004, the licensed to meow game cat. Meow, meow. Meow, meow,
usually we start
meow.
every show. Usually we start every single show criticizing my thumbnail. And before the show today, Dave sent me a text message. He said, "Finally, a good thumbnail for GamesCast."
I don't usually hate them as much as
Pretty
they
good thumbnail.
Do you hate this or do you like it?
I like it. I was just riffing
like it. I do feel like it is very not you, but
it's very not me. It's the worldwide launch of PlayStation 5.
Really represent your
it's
true
all,
essence. I feel like it's not capturing the Brian
also
aesthetic.
shout out to your top
There's not enough
25
going on.
thumbnail. I love your top 25 thumbnail.
Thank you.
Ash454 Decepticon. Oh yeah, Johnny No Pocket Decade. Who that game? Cat Smooth World. Hello.
I can't believe we're still going.
Thank you guys so much, Wonder Rob. Hard to get.
Under 3 hours, guys. Incredible.
Incredible.
This is a record. This is a new record.
Meow meow, everybody. We love you all.
Meow,
Enjoy
meow.
your night and enjoy your PlayStation 5s. Good
See
night,
you in the
everyone.
Discord.
See you in the Discord. Join the Discord. The link's in the description. I can't. I'm pointing. I'm pointing down as if they can't see me anymore. All right, let's get out of here, guys. Good night, everyone. We